Jesus Christ.
One.
Danny,
We're live.
stop saying slurs, Danny. What are you doing?
Stop it, please.
Thank God you stopped right before we went live. My
Please.
God, that
I
could
was
have been
counting.
bad, Dan.
I was just counting, please.
Danny, I think you were a bit. That was really pushing it close to the edge there.
Please.
I think the combination of the accent and the slurs was kind of crazy. But you know what? Do you, Chief? I can't tell you how to live your life. How do I see the chat? Oh, there's the chat. Wait, hold up.
Right. That's the best
Studio
part
chat?
about this.
Wait. Live stream chat. There it
Chat.
is. There it is.
So, hi everybody. Very sorry, but also you're welcome. Sorry that this is a fucking stream podcast, but you're welcome that it's live streamed to everybody. The thing we said wouldn't happen again. That's happening for two reasons. One, Christmas.
And both of them are Danny's fault. Both of them are Danny's fault, I'd like to say. I was very down to have Danny over my house for a nice little me, a little hot chocolate, a little hang. But nope. Danny didn't want to drive the 45 minutes to get down here. So if you're upset at Danny and you're wondering why we're both in our homes, it's Danny's fault. You want to explain to them why it's your fault, Dan?
No, it's entirely my fault. I'm just absolutely and utterly drowning in work, in making up time for like Christmas stuff with Sarah and the roommates and everything, getting Christmas ready. I'm just up to my neck in it. And then today I tried to go to urgent care because I think I have an ear infection because my jaw's been hurting for the last couple of days, and then it worked its way up into my ear, and I was like, all right, I gotta go see urgent care before I go on this plane so it doesn't hurt for 8 hours. Going to urgent care today, get there at like 1:10 p.m., try to open the door. Takes me like 15 minutes before I realized that there's a sign that says they're out for lunch until 2 p.m. So I walk on down to my local Burger King, as I do.
Yeah, of course. Always within walking distance. That's the most important thing. That's how Danny plans where he's going to live. Is it within walking distance of a Burger King? Yeah,
that's entirely true. I got Burger King for probably the 8th time this week.
Yep.
Got a chicken sandwich, crispy chicken sandwich with no mayo. And then I get down there at 2 p.m., walk in. There's one woman like at the desk, and she's like, "Can we help you?" And I'm like, "Yes, you can. Do you take walk-ins?" And she goes, "Sorry, we don't have a doctor in today."
Then why are we open?
Why be open?
Yeah.
What? I like almost, for like a brief second, I had like such an intense and instant fit of rage, like behind my eyes, where I was almost like, what is this place then, without a doctor?
This is simply a testament to a failed healthcare system. Like, what are we talking? Did they have a nurse? Did they have like a nurse practitioner? Or was it just like, hey, we have no healthcare professionals?
It's like they're just open and they just hire her to tell people that they aren't actually open, just to turn people away. And boy, oh boy, did I feel some intense sympathy for Luigi in that moment.
Yep, you're like, just quick question. Yeah, no doctor, great. Who owns this company? Just wondering.
I want to be like, very interesting. Let me ask you something. Have you been watching the news lately?
Did you happen to see a man in an orange jumpsuit getting perp walked by half of the NYPD? Cool. You're going to be the reason that happens to me.
Golly. Everyone in the chat is just saying, why are they open then? Yeah, Danny always seems one ouchie away from death. I certainly am. I take after my mother in that regard. She's in a perpetual state of dying, and
Fair,
I think I'm
she's
on
also
my
in a
way.
perpetual state of like very much like fighting against dying as well. Your mother has fucking taken a multitude of L's in the health sense, and is every single time has come out victorious. You, on the other hand, I think if you went through half the things that your mother went to, you would crumple like a dried leaf, Danny. You know, like when you're walking on the street and you're like, oh, that's gonna be a crunchy leaf. You see it, you're like, oh, that's gonna make like even like a pine cone. You see like a freshly dropped pine cone, you're like, oh, I can't wait to step on you. That's how I feel your constitution is, because I have a strong sneaking suspicion here that it's just TMJ. You're like, oh, I'm stressed out and my jaw hurts. You're probably just clenching. Have you considered that?
This never happened to me before. It started with like when I would eat stuff, this half of my jaw chew, it would hurt the past couple of days, and then now it's kind of like worked its way up into my ear, where if I like jiggle my ear, it'll be painful.
Gotcha. And how often are you jiggling your ear?
It's one of those things where I know it exists, so now I want to do it all the time.
That's
you know
so
what I
fair.
mean?
I like when you have a thing that hurts a little bit, it's kind of fun. Like I have an ingrown nail right now. I'm gonna fuck with it the entire podcast. Like if you just have like a 1 or a 2 on the pain scale, I think it just reminds you you're alive.
Yeah, I feel that way. I know what you're talking about. I get that way with like gum pain. Like when I have like a little cut on my gum, I'll like fuck with it. I'll be like, oh, that hurts so good.
I about 3.5 pounds of kettle corn last night, and I just shredded the inside of my mouth. I then proceeded to have a tahine rimmed drink, so I was just putting salt directly into my wounds. My God, what a way to remind myself that I'm on the precipice of death at any given moment. Yeah, so things are not going well for you.
Not great. I'm definitely stressed. This is the most stressed I've ever been during a holiday season, and I do feel really bad. Like I wanted with every fiber in my being to make this a live, like, in-person podcast, because it's the last episode of Dandadan, and I don't like doing the Zoom podcasts because I know people don't really like them as much, so I do, like, legitimately feel bad. It is just one of those things where, like, Sarah's been really wanting, like, quality Christmas time, and I've been encroaching on that with work, and I still have so much work that I had to do and will do today.
Have you considered having your girlfriend be 16 hours away?
You know...
Because boy, oh boy, have I been working. My God. We have this really, really super sick meta that we've unlocked here where she's 16 hours ahead of me. So basically, the second that I wake up, if I wake up at 8 a.m., it's midnight there. So I'm like, hi, good morning. She's like, good night. And then by the time that she's up, it's like 8 p.m. here. So we have like an hour-long call. And then I'm like, okay, good night. And then that's it. And, I'm not going insane or anything. I'm not like slowly clawing my eyes out. But man, have I been working, Dan.
Yeah, you haven't been too mean recently. I caught you being mean to Richard, our producer, the other day, and I had to rein you in.
I was not being mean to Richard, our producer. Richard he's been making a skit for Steven that's been keeping him up days on an end. And I was like, hey, Richard, if I have to explain this to you one more time, I'm going to claw my eyeballs out. I also was on a phone call with Richard the other day where we were talking to a buddy of mine, Jason, who we were talking about like bringing onto the Anime IRL page, and he was being like very aggressive. He was like, no, I need you. And he was like, I don't have time to work with you guys. He's like, listen, and I was like, Richard. He was like, I need hands. He's like, I need somebody on set. And I was like, he's told us he can't do that, Richard, please. I was like, please. He's already told us he can't do that. The holiday season gets to all of us.
I was just going to say, it sure seems to be.
What a ho-ho holiday. What a ho-ho happy holidays. I just saw somebody say, no girlfriend grind set. And that's it right there, baby.
I saw somebody in the chat go, when we were talking about the medical ailments, someone was saying, that's just being over 30. Can I tell you something?
Get fucked on, nerd.
Can I tell you something?
So big for me.
I posted a video, or I did like a joke in one of my Owl House videos where I was like, you know what? I'm 25 years old. I don't really need to be like the world's biggest Owl House fan. Oh. That was a crazy glasses switch.
Thanks. It was a sponsor.
And someone posted that on TikTok, and there's a comment with 58 comments and 14,000 likes. And he goes,
14,000 likes.
And the person goes, he's 25? Why'd I think he was like in his mid-30s? And all 60 comments are, my brother is 25, not gonna lie, Danny looks older. Where is it? Like, he gives 30 vibes, though. I totally thought he was exactly 30. He's younger than me. He ages while he watches everything we request him. I thought he was 40 plus, this person says. 30 is insane. I thought he was 35. This was brutal. This was an absolute slaughtering. This was a hanging of me.
Hey, Dan, I want you to know that you're loved and that I think you look great, buddy.
This person goes...
This is not coming at the right time. Danny's been getting like facials, and he's like, because I'm a YouTuber and I'm vain, and everybody on the internet's like, ugly.
This person goes, maybe it's the hairline, maybe the voice, maybe the cringe millennial phrases he uses at time, maybe it's his facial hair, maybe it's his Pokemon obsession. Who knows? I could go on. It went on so long. Also, hairline. I have such a normal man's hairline.
You have a very normal man. You are not receding at all. In fact, I'm actually quite envious of your natural hairline. I had to spend money to get your hairline. Fuck. Here's my thing, Danny. I'll fully acknowledge. You look younger than I do. And so this is why I don't say I'm 28, because I know I look every ounce of fucking 28. I look every goddamn ounce of 28. People are like, oh, 28, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't. People are never like, oh wow, Nick, you look 22, unless they're trying to like get into my bed.
Would you have been able to handle a flood of comments telling you look 30 to 40?
Joke's on you, brother. I don't read my comments. So I don't have to handle dick. That is the idea, homie. If you know you got feelings that are easy to hurt, never put yourself in the situation to hurt them. That's my motto, baby. That's my motto. No, I would immediately like stop drinking. Nick looks my age for sure. Hey, Seraph. Yeah, no, I'm closing this. I'm closing the chat.
Yeah, I just realized this was a mistake too. I could see someone thinking Dan was 34.
Yeah,
maybe it's the eyebrows.
Close the chat immediately. Close the chat immediately. This was all a bad idea. This was all this. I can't believe it really be. And listen, maybe Sarah will apologize. I won't see it. The chat box is closed for the next 10 minutes until this cold open is done. I'll tell everybody when the chat's open again, and then you can choose to be nice to Nick. I told you, I'm sensitive.
This was devastating. This was a devastating blow.
Why the fuck did we do this to ourselves?
I don't know.
Anyways, yeah, so we're live today because Danny's drowning in the emotional weight of being in a relationship and having a bunch of friends that he needs to buy things for, and his parents wanting him to love them enough that they buy him tickets to WWE shows. He's also drowning in the weight of responsibilities that I keep tying him into projects, even though we're not filming on Anime IRL until January 4th. I know for a fact that put some blood to your penis when you saw Richard was like, hey, we're not filming Jeopardy this week, and then everyone was like, I don't get back until January 4th, and you're like, oh my god, I don't have to do additional work for the next couple of weeks, but you will be home and you're not bringing any of your recording equipment, which means no work for you. You know what I'm gonna be doing? You know what I'm gonna be doing, Dan? I'm probably gonna work on Christmas. I bet you're jealous as hell, and what's insane is that he probably is.
I do like going home because it gives me time to catch up on stuff. Like, I'm gonna watch. We should have a game this week. We don't.
Yeah, we kind of do.
We kind of do, or at least like give me a show that I could just crush on a plane. I love being on a plane. It allows me to finally breathe for the first time in my entire life.
I also love being on a plane because I'm like, oh, my phone doesn't work. And then they're like, you can buy Wi-Fi. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. They're like,
just have the stewardess's head like right up to your mouth. Like,
yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
I see the guy like 2 seats in front of me, like working on an Excel document. Like, and I'm like, stop being a reminder I could be doing things. I'm trying to watch RRR for the first time in the format it was supposed to be watched, a 9-inch television. Yeah, like the only time I ever have the fucking patience to watch a 3-hour action movie is on a goddamn airplane. Yeah, I love planes. That's why I love going to Asia, because it's like 12 hours of uninterrupted. Like I can be like, oh, I'm gonna be a monster for the next 12 hours.
Dude, we gotta go to more cons like across the country, because I loved being on a plane with you.
Fair.
We didn't even talk to each other, but I loved the brief instances where I watched Mean Girls the musical on the plane, and I was like, man, that was way better than the first time I saw it. Maybe watching a movie on a plane just makes a movie good. Like, it tanks your standards, and it's just good.
100%.
And then I immediately watched Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and I took out my earbuds, and I was like, that was terrible.
This movie fucking sucks. It's so funny because it's literally this is gonna be a flashback, but Sonic 4 just got announced.
What do you mean? Sonic 3 just came out.
Sonic 4 just got announced. 2027. They were like, wow, Sonic 3, what a hit. People are crucifying Shadow online. There's the viral marketing campaign of everybody just turning Shadow into Jesus on the cross. And they were like, this must be an indicator. This movie's fucking crushing it. So apparently it's already been greenlit. 2027, Sonic 4.
Wow.
Do you think when you saw the initial Sonic like trailer, you were like, oh wow, this is a movie that's gonna get 4 more movies?
No, but you know what? I do wish they stuck with the original design. I want to see Tails like that. I want to see Knuckles, Shadow. I want to see Metal Sonic looking like ugly Sonic.
Yes, absolutely. I want like the full dentured teeth, everything. Like I want a gummy ass mouth like filled with terrifying old people teeth Sonic. That'd be great. One of the things that I regret in my life though is that I never became a Sonic fan. Like I see the Sonic fandom, I feel like the way that the outside world sees the anime fandom, where I'm like, I see people with Sonic tattoos and I'm like, what's that gonna...
A Sonic tattoo is crazy because I don't know if there's a single Sonic property that like what's the one where you're like, wow, that made me cry, that moved me to tears, or like
when they kill the fucking little girl, probably
Yeah.
like relating to Shadow.
I guess so. Yeah. I just
My
can't
thing is,
imagine.
like, I
Yeah.
look at the tattoos and I'm like, what's that gonna look like when you're 80? And then I'm like, oh my god, I'm becoming my parents. Like, it's fucking terrifying. So yeah, I do regret that I never got into that. Literally the only Sonic IP I ever interfaced with whatsoever was the the Shadow the Hedgehog game where you could dual wheel Uzis, and I was like, that's what I thought the entire Sonic verse was just shooting up cops as a hedgehog. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't remember what that game was about at all.
Literally that. It was so
Really?
sick. We really need to bring that back.
We could stream it.
The Shadow the Hedgehog game.
I bet you right now people would be as interested in the Shadow the Hedgehog game playthrough as our Scooby-Doo watches.
That's 100% fair.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Anyway, speaking of video games, you want to talk about Witcher 4 controversy? Oh, you're getting a real animated, brother. I also got a little animated. People don't like it as much when I get animated. Well, because Nick gets aggressive. He tells people to kill themselves. You don't have to go that far, Nick. I think Danny encapsulated it perfectly. Whatever.
I hate posting a video and then like just doing this and being like, well, that was good, you know, I'll just go on living my life. And then if it does too well, Nick will yell at me about it on the podcast.
Absolutely, baby. It comes across my feed, and then the problem is you're like, you're like throwing dirt on a grave, and you're like, take that, losers. And then I just like come in with a stick of dynamite, and I'm like, this is needed. And everyone's like, it wasn't needed. What are you doing? Calm down.
Did you? So yeah, you saw the Siri one. To catch everyone up, the trailer for The Witcher 4 came out, and you play as Ciri, which everyone kind of knew and suspected since The Witcher 3.
If you have fucking the ability to read and perceive events, you would know that Ciri was going to be the MC of Witcher 4 and beyond. Geralt's like, yeah, I'm going to retire with Yennefer, and Ciri's like this eldritch horror combination of Witcher powers and fucking ancient magic, and she's like, you play as Ciri for half of The Witcher 3. Yeah. Like, there's like several Ciri-based missions, which are just as fun as the Geralt missions, and the ending is literally, there's multiple endings, but like the best possible ending is Ciri becoming a Witcher. That is the best ending you can get in The Witcher 3, and I'm assuming that the majority of the people that played The Witcher 3 and are upset about Ciri becoming the main character in the next one either didn't play the game enough or didn't get the best ending to the point where like they're baffled at the idea that Ciri could ever be a Witcher.
Yeah, so Ciri's the main character, which people are like annoyed at. Some people say that they're annoyed because they're like, I wanted to play as Geralt again, which is like, I feel like I've had enough Geralt, you know, like his story's done. One of the endings, he literally kills himself in. Like, all the endings are like, Geralt's done with this franchise. So now it's Ciri, she's like 10 years older, and she's a fucking slam piece.
Yeah, she's an absolute minx.
She's so attractive, she's so buff and hot in the Witcher 4 trailer, and for some reason, there's so much controversy of people being like, oh, the woke media strikes again, we gotta play as an ugly, gross hag of a woman.
Yep.
Usually when that happens, I like get it. Like, not that I like agree with it, but I'm like, oh, you're playing as like a black woman with her head shaved. I can see Asmongold coming from a mile away. Like, if it's a non-white woman who isn't half naked, they're gonna be pissed.
Or like drawn to specifically look young, right? Yeah. Like that's also one of the biggest pieces of discourse is the fact that people are like, oh, she's ugly now, and everyone's like, oh, she just looks like a woman now. She doesn't look like a teenager like she was in the last couple of books. And it's so funny because it's the Asmongold side of the internet fucking exposing themselves, getting upset when a girl is drawn. Like it's CD Projekt Red is doing a really good job of battling against the infantilization of women in media, right? Like it's like anime and video game literally will purposely draw like women that are 25 to look younger than 25. But like now that there's actual physical representation of what a woman looks like as an adult, right? Like as a fucking like realistically rendered adult. And mind you, this is a CGI trailer. It's not in gameplay. Like that's the craziest thing to me is everyone's fucking going off the fucking railroad about this being the final look of Ciri. It's not. But not that even necessarily matters. Like it's just she's drawn like an adult. And the entire side of the internet that's upset about it is snitching on themselves because they want her to look like a fucking teenager.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like, it's so funny too, because it's like, in every Witcher trailer, like every CGI reveal trailer of these games, Geralt has looked not only completely different, but
Yeah.
also way uglier than he ends up looking in
Yeah.
game.
Have
And
you seen Geralt in The Witcher 1?
yeah, he looks like a weasel. He looks like a
He's
bleached weasel.
he's horrifying looking. Yes.
It looks terrible, but it's so annoying because I'm so not looking forward to when the gameplay inevitably comes out and she looks different or looks like prettier and everyone's like, "Oh, CD Projekt Red heard our voices, like you just got to be loud enough." Like,
Yeah.
shut up. Everyone
Mhm.
shut up. I just don't know what like I guess they want her to look like she's 14. Like that's the beauty standard they're looking
Exactly.
for.
And that's it's anime, it's video games, it's all of that. Like it's infantilization, and that has been a pervasive issue throughout like popular media for the longest time now. And heaven forbid, fucking an MC who's now 10 years older than she was in the last in the last game looks 10 years older. Like I don't know, it's fucking ridiculous and absurd. But yes, some big news. Anyways, that's our cold opening. Hello, everybody. Sorry we're online here. We're trying to be cognizant of Danny's needs this holiday season. We're trying to make sure that he feels as appreciated and loved as possible. So we're going to try and compensate to make sure that he is happy on this here podcast. For those of you who aren't even watching us, you probably can barely identify any differences outside of the fact you can't hear me and Danny echoing in each other's mics, which is actually kind of nice, I could imagine. But we have a fair amount to talk about. For those of you who don't know, we're filming this on a Friday. So episodes of Daima and episodes of Blue Lock aren't technically out yet. So we are going to be focusing on some other anime today. More importantly, we're going to be focusing on the homework that Nick did finally, because he got caught up with Beastars. My last week was all getting caught up with Beastars. I'm now caught up with Beastars. We're watching one episode per week. So I'm now on episode 2 of Beastars. It's a great time.
Also, real quick, Daima definitely came out. Did you not watch Daima? We got Majin Duu.
So they did it. They did the fucking. They used the other Cybermen pellet.
Yep.
Tell me about it. You know, actually, let's start with that. Tell me about it, because boy, we were talking earlier, and I was like, you were watching Creature Commandos, and you're like, oh man, it's so funny. What a great time. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot to like watch Creature Commandos. Explain it to me. And you're like, no, it's too fun. You got to watch it on your own. Boy, oh boy, do I not feel that way about Daima. Break it down for me, Chief.
Yeah, let me break it down for you.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Anyway, oh my god. But anyway.
Oh god.
So Daima, here's what happens. God, I didn't think I'd be put in this situation where I have to like actually remember the plot of Daima.
This is very exciting.
So they get to, because I barely ever know what's going on when it comes to like the Namek stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They get to, they're in the second demon world, which looks like Namek, and they meet like an old man Namekian who knew Piccolo's father, and they gave Piccolo's father like a different name, like Nesmik or something, other than just Piccolo Senior, which like was his name.
Okay.
But so he knows Piccolo's father, and the old man's like, oh, I have to come along with you now because once you gather the Dragon Balls, you need someone who can speak Namekian to translate it. Otherwise, you won't be able to get your wish. And Goku's like, Piccolo, do you know how to speak Namekian? And Piccolo's like, how dare you? What, because I'm a Piccolo? Because I'm a Piccolo, I should know how to speak Piccolo?
Maybe. I mean, he grew up on Namek. Oh, wait, no, he didn't.
No,
He was born from an egg. You're right. Shit.
Yeah, he was born
Goku
on
is
Earth.
problematic. About time we identified the fact that Dragon Ball Z has problematic tendencies.
Yeah, he was born on Earth. But so, yeah, so they're like, all right, I guess we'll bring this old man now. So now they have another character. And,
they're just stuffing as many motherfuckers in whatever stolen plane they can.
yeah, just stuffing him in. He seems a little shady. It feels like he's gonna, like, betray them. He keeps, like, eyeing their Dragon Ball. It's also funny because they get to the guy.
Was it the guy? Was it the original Namekian from the beginning of the series that, like, actually made the Dragon Balls?
Kami? No.
Yeah. No, that wasn't that. No. In the beginning of Daima, there's the Namekian who goes with the Demon King to Earth and helps them get all the Dragon Balls. Is it that Namekian?
Chad, is it him? Well, I mean,
Wait, hold up. I'm reopening chat.
They talked about Dandadan yet. I just showed up. Not yet. But
Somebody needs to mute Discord. That might be me.
So they got that guy, Oh, it's probably you. I'm on streamer mode. So they got that guy, and they go to the second Tamagi, and then Vegeta's like, I want to fight him. And so Goku's like, all right, you can fight him, I guess, whatever. And Vegeta fights him for a long time, and Vegeta's like only fighting him in base form, and the whole time you're kind of like, just go Super Saiyan. Do a thing. And then he doesn't, and then Vegeta gets eaten by a Kraken because he like falls into the water and kills the guy. So that's how the episode ends. Vegeta gets swallowed by a Kraken.
Oh, because I'm sure that Kraken is going to suppress the second strongest entity in the universe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So B plot, the witch lady and both witch women are like making the Majin Duu, which is named Majin Duu. And they're like, oh, this time we should put the seed 10 centimeters in. And then she's like, what if we did 20? And then she's like, 20? But then we may not be able to control him. And so they put it 20 centimeters in. And then you want to know what he looks like? You should look him up. Look up Majin Duu.
Is it actually Majin Duu?
Yeah.
Oh,
D-U-U.
No, I got Majin Dula.
What are you trying
Okay, when you look up Majin Duu, you just get Majin Buu.
Look up D-U-U and then Google images.
That's what I did.
I'm not getting a single image of Majin Buu, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm on Bing. because
don't
you sent
be
me
on Bing. What?
You sent me it over Discord, so it uses Explorer. Don't yell at me. Oh, he's Hybus.
Yeah, he is Hybus, and he's just It's weird. It's weird that Majin Ku is like a Kid Buu version, but
he's a
Cyberman
Cyberman version.
Well, he's a Cyberman version, but he's got like the proportions of Kid Buu. And this one's a Majin Buu version, but he's stronger than Majin Duu. And he's also just so lame. He's so boring.
So boring looking.
Yeah. Well, when he fights the Tamagi, the first Tamagi.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was like, all right, look, I could deal with this like character design if he shows up and he's like egregiously powerful. Like if he's just like a menace. But he's just like fighting the guy. Like you don't see if he wins or not by the end. And it's just like a regular fight. Like he's not like any more intimidating than Majin Ku was. So that's the episode.
Oh God! And the craziest thing about all of it, Dan, is that Dandadan has ended. Daima, I don't think does, right? Like this is probably the 11th episode of Daima we're talking about right here, and so we're talking about the 11th episode of Daima, and which means we at the very least have one more. But I think we're just going to go weekly with Daima or something. Like I think we're just going to keep getting Daima until we're out of Daima manga.
Yeah, I don't know if there is a manga.
There's absolutely or is there not?
No,
is there not a? Is there not a Dragon Ball Daima manga? So was Toriyama, but Toriyama worked on Daima. So was he working on the anime?
Isn't part of Dragon Ball Z, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, there seemingly, like, isn't a manga.
Wild.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess he just worked on the anime.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, no, I don't care. I don't care about any of it. Can we talk about something I do care about?
Yeah.
I want to talk about Owl House. I want to do a little Owl House breakdown because for those of you who don't know, 2 weeks ago, Danny gave me Owl House as homework. He told me watch the first season of Owl House without telling me that the first season of Owl House is 19 episodes long.
Yeah.
You talk about the show like it got ended so early. The show didn't get its chance to get its run. It's got like 50 goddamn It's got 3 seasons.
That's not enough. It's not enough.
Danny, the first season, first off, it ran from 2020 to 2022. In 3 years, they got 3 seasons. Every single year, they were just like, hey, more Owl House, more Owl House, more Owl House. They gave 19 episodes in the first season. I think it's like 14 or 15 in the second season. And then the third season only has 3 episodes, admittedly, but they're all an hour long. It's 3 hours of content, which is objectively like, what, 9 episodes? Like 9 regular episodes?
I need 5 seasons of the Owl House.
Listen,
you'll get it. Once you get through season 2, you'll start to notice like where things are wrapping up a little too abruptly and where things could definitely like expand if there was more time. But go on, what are your thoughts?
Everyone's yelling at me. Not enough, Nick. Not enough. And here's the thing, chat. Okay, chat. I love it.
Let's go.
It's a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to come out and say it's a lot of fun. I sat down for the first episode, willing, so ready, so just lubricated and just willing and just compliant and just sitting there with my legs open, waiting to dislike this show so goddamn much. Because everything that I've seen from you, I'm like, oh, this is children's programming, and it kind of isn't, and it kind of isn't. And there's things about it that I dislike, but there's also things about it that I like deeply, deeply adore. It straight out the gate, episode 1, straight out the gate, one of the funniest shows I've ever watched. Like it, not like one of the not like that might be hyperbole, but like it is. The bit rate and the writing on it is phenomenal. And this is you seem to talk about season 1 like it's inferior to season 2. Which I feel as though is usually the way you talk about a lot of things. You're like, oh, it doesn't get good until the second season. But the first season of this show is a lot of fun. Like, I love and I understand now why you love reacting to it, because my God, is there something I'm watching it and I'm like, I could be running bits right now. Like as I'm watching it, I'm doing bits based off their bits, because it's every fucking 10 seconds there's a joke of some sort. And that might be because it's meant for kids. That might be because it's like built in a fucking era of no like attention span whatsoever. But it is a lot of fun. I love Luz. Love is cool. Or Luz is cool. She immediately, and I started to understand immediately why you liked her and like this story as a whole. Because immediately, like within like 4 minutes of the starting the show, she's like, I don't want to go to summer camp. I want to make music videos edited to anime and read like space novel, or space fantasy books. And I just wrote down, this girl makes AMVs and reads Brandon Sanderson. No wonder Danny fucking loves this universe.
She's a great character. She's like, yeah, the show, season 1 is a lot worse than season 2, and you'll agree objectively with me. But like, she's always been a great character, and the show has always felt like incredibly passionate. Like it has like huge messages of like, oh, be as much of a weirdo as you want. Like being like yourself and being creative is like the best way to go about it. And it says that very like not original message in a very passionate way. Like it feels like, I said this in my reaction, where like a lot of shows will have that message where it's like, just be yourself, it's fine. But you could tell that those people have never been criticized for being a weirdo in their life. Yeah. And this show feels like it understands. It's like, no, we're gonna make Luz weird as fuck. Like, she's releasing live snakes upon her classmates. Like,
okay, but in the beginning, they definitely do identify the fact that she's like weird as shit, right? Like she's like, oh, like that is very funny. She's like, they're like, oh, we'll forgive you this one time, and then a snake attacks her principal, and they're like, all right, you're gonna go to like the conformatorium of essentially the real world, where you learn how to do spreadsheets and like love mayonnaise, which I thought was very, very funny. But like once she gets to Boiling Isles, she's by far and away not the weirdest person there. Like, yes, one of the first things that they focus on in the first couple of episodes of the Owl House is like, hey, like, to be whoever you want, because Luz ends up at the conformatorium, and there's like the 3 people there who are all like varying different degrees, like, and shades of weird, right? They're just so much weirder than Luz, it's not even close. There is a fucking walking anarchist nose.
I call her Smelvin. I don't know her real name. I hate her.
She's, first off, everywhere. Just like literally everywhere. All the other people that are in the conformatorium that get out, that were infinitely more interesting than fucking Smelvin, never see him again. What about the girl who makes like fan fiction for, it was so funny. I actually have a note for this. Well, first off, I said, the guy who eats his own eyes deserves jail. That guy, listen, you're trying to tell me that Luz is weird because she likes AMVs and fucking and high fantasy novels, and we're trying to conflate that with a guy who literally rips out his own eyeballs and eats them. That deserves jail time. Yeah. But there's like an anarchist, a guy that rips out his own eyes and eat them, and then in the middle, in between them, there's a girl who's like, I make food fanfic. And I was like, this doesn't deserve jail time. The other two, that's an active anarchist, and that man is mentally ill. The girl who writes fanfic does not deserve to be in jail.
Yeah, she's just a Dungeon Meshi fan. Like, that's it.
Yeah, she's just writing Sausage Party.
Yeah, she's just writing recipes. Like, she's like, I want like romantic fan fiction about food. Like, bitch, that's a soup.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Literally, like that. You are talking about a boiling pot. That is, or a melting pot. That is it. There's a lot of things that I like. I've seen the first 10 episodes now, and I just watched the episode that it's like she started to kind of go to Hexside. Like she is going to Hexside, and I was like really hoping that we weren't going to end up at Hexside. Like, I think the strongest part of the storytelling is like Ida, it's King, it's Luz. I kind of fucking hate Gus and Willow.
wow.
Listen,
Wow.
I don't hate them, but they are the weakest part of the story by far and away. Gus has some somewhat interesting, like to me. All right, here's the thing. This is a children's show. I think we can both accept that, right?
Yeah.
Like we watched like all anime to some sense is a children's show, but like this is probably the youngest skewing demographic show that we've ever watched together as a podcast.
For sure.
At the same time, this show tackles very adult themes. Like it's kind of like SpongeBob, where you're like, adults can watch this because they understand the jokes. Kids can watch it because of take-home lessons, right?
Yeah.
And so this show, to me, never feels like a kid's show until Gus and Willow show up. Because Gus and Willow, every time they show up, the meaning of what they're trying to show us, they just beat you over the head with it. Like I feel like Gus is the walking embodiment of like he will say the exact message we're trying to drive home here. Like it's like he's like, oh, I'm younger, I skipped some grades, and like now like I'm always fighting to like make sure that I feel as though like I'm welcome here. And like all of these are like prevalent stories that should be told or like that kind of thing. But like I don't know, just like Gus and Willow to me feel like the weakest part of the story, which is why I that's why I didn't want Luz to go to Hexside, because I was like, oh, it's just like if she goes to Hexside, it's just going to become another magical school story, right? And I don't want it to be another magical school story. I like Amity. I like Amity's story a lot. I know we're obviously building like a enemies to lovers kind of situation with her, most likely. But like I think Amity's a cool character. Willow and Gus to me are just like an example of like. And it might just because everybody else shines so brightly in the story. Like King is awesome. Ida's awesome. Both of them have like King's voice actor is like supremely talented. The rage squeal makes me like kick my feet. Like every time they're like, it's kind of like Ida. Every time Ida is like, oh my God, you're so cute. Like you're so little and so angry. Every time there's a rage squeal, I just kick my little feet. It's so much fun. But yeah. So I'm having a lot of fun. But yeah, Gus.
Wow.
And Willow, I don't know.
I'm such a Willow fan. Willow's fucking sick. Obviously, you kind of got to like get to that. Again, season 2 is like, you'll be like, did they fire every single writer and hire like Hollywood's top talent all of a sudden? Like it's
really? So it gets like more serious or like funnier?
Oh yeah, it gets way more serious. It's still funny. It's like Hell of a Boss, where it takes like out of nowhere, it starts taking itself really seriously, but it's more impressive and more shocking because it's a kid's show. Like it goes from like PG to legitimately PG-13. Like there's blood and there's like harrowing stakes, and Willow's sick, and Willow's got her harem of dads. Willow's got 2 whole dads. Most people only get one of those. Some people get none of those.
Okay, you're telling me Willow coming from a gay family is even remotely surprising? The plant-using girl, the plant vendor, like that is the most 2-dad energy character I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life. And if you told me that Gus has 2 moms, I would be the least surprising thing I've heard this week. Those 2 are 2 individual single gay children. Like I'm not saying that they themselves are gay, but they have gay parents.
Yeah, that's fair. That's entirely fair.
That would not surprise me at all. Amity comes from a cis het relationship. Her dad's like a used car salesman, like a real Giga Chad. Her mom's like a form your debutante kind of thing, like real, like that. Amity comes from like a Southern family, but Gus, 2 moms, absolutely. They're the same height. They have the same haircut. Every winter they do like a little getaway to a bed and breakfast. And Willow, absolutely 2-dad energies, and they love her more than anything on the face of the earth. Like I don't know.
That was a crazy read on Amity. Have you met her parents yet?
No, I'm on.
That was a crazy read on Amity.
I'm assuming I'm correct.
That was a crazy accurate read on Amity, at least on the mom.
That's awesome. I absolutely adore that because that is exactly to me who she shines as. But her story, like, so I got to the episode where we are introduced to her older brother and sister, right?
Yeah. And they're bad news.
But like they're like the cool kids. I kind of like that they didn't do the standard thing where it was like, oh, like they're my mean older siblings and they're just trying to make you feel cool so they can prank you later on. They were just like actually just trying to get a dig on Amity, which I kind of appreciated. But that episode was really, really good. I like that they're establishing the connection between Luz and Amity. But at the end of the day, what?
I was just gonna say, I like how the show is like, oh, Amity's such a bitch, and like she's the mean one. Luz won't stop ruining this girl's life.
Yeah.
Everywhere Amity turns, Luz is there fucking it up.
Yeah.
Regardless of Amity's literally just like volunteering at the library, and Luz is like, I'm gonna sneak into her secret bedroom and steal her diary and shit.
And then proceeds to just destroy the library. Like, Luz is like a domestic terrorist in that episode. Like, actually, you're right. Like, Amity is there doing like extra credit, like reading for children kind of thing. And Luz is like running around with her older siblings, just destroying public property.
Yeah.
They're a real problem, but I've actually never disliked Amity the entire time. Like they do try to do the thing where they're like, oh, look at this mean girl, but like I come from that exact same like perception where I'm like I haven't necessarily perceived anything from Amity where I was like, oh, that's unacceptable. There was like the Borsha girl, that girl was a bitch, right?
Basha sucks.
Yeah, Basha sucks, but I've never been like, oh, Amity sucks, right? Amity's mom is voiced by Azula, by Gray.
That's just simply not true. That's just false information. She's voiced by Haley from American Dad.
Wow. Yikes. Yikes. Anarchy hamster. Brutal. Get fact checked.
Yikes.
Actually. It is a very fun episode. I just got to the Owlbert episode where Luz, Gus, and Willow are trying to go to the other school to watch I like that they just call it sport. That's very fun. That's very fun. And I love that the sport is just like actively not trying to die at the hands of griffins. Also very fun. Yeah. They're trying to go, and there's like it's like the Palisman episode where Luz accidentally hurts Owlbert while they're flying, and Owlbert's like skull gets cracked, and you get introduced to the fact that Queen Bat is like a former Palisman, and she keeps an eye on all the Palismans. Love Queen Bat. Love Queen Bat, dude. She's a bad bitch. She has one of the funniest jokes I can remember in this show, which is at the end of this episode, which is my favorite episode I've seen thus far, by the way. That's what I'm building towards. Is she has her 3 babies that they watch earlier, and she's like, time to have a book before bed. And then she just starts ripping the pages up and feeding them to the babies, and she's like, consume, gain knowledge, avoid paper cuts. And I was just fucking chuckling. But that episode had me on the verge of tears. Like, it was like, that was the episode where I realized, I was like, oh, they have like actual ability to write stories here. And like they've always done a really good job at tackling what I would assume are pervasive issues for kids just who are watching the show, right? Like the show does a very good job of making anybody and everybody feel as though they're accepted in the universe, and I think that's a beautiful story. But like I think this episode was the first real foray into like actual real like conversational pieces and like actual like hard-hitting character development points, because everything else, like the first 9 episodes, while they're all fun, are kind of just like they do like every episode teaches a lesson of sorts. Like the Freaky Friday episode, they're like, oh, everyone has their struggles, right? Every episode has a take-home message. But this is the first episode where it felt like they didn't have to hit you over the head with what the take-home message was. Like the Freaky Friday thing, they like are specifically describing it. And that's probably because it's a show for children. They don't expect you to understand the subcontext, right? And that's why like when we're growing up and our English teacher was like, the blue curtain means this, we're all like, you're a fucking idiot. But like in actuality, they were right. Like now that we understand like the subcontext of a lot of these reading things, like it is much easier for us with fully formed brains to understand what these take-home messages are. Yeah, but this is the first episode that felt like, oh, they didn't need to explain it to me.
And that's what I mean in that, like, this first season sucks, is that, like, there are no Freaky Friday episodes in season 2. Season 2 is, like, all plot.
Yeah.
It's, like, one continuous plot, and it just gets, like, more and more interesting. The power system gets really cool. The world building is wild. There's like a bunch, they like introduce like what are essentially like the 9 Hashira, like the 9 heads of like each witch coven.
Oh my god.
It's so dope.
Can we talk about the witch covens? Can we talk about what a silly program? I get that it's supposed to be like, I get it's supposed to be like an analogy or like an allegory for like sororities or fraternities or just like even like getting into the trades of some sort. But like, oh, they're like, oh, join this coven and we seal off all your other magic. And yet Gus, who's supposed to be this childhood genius, is like, yeah, I'm gonna be an illusion magician. My god, like I get that he can make like shadow clones and he's got like his like clone taking all of his homework for him. Also a really funny joke. He's like, they don't always pay attention, and then he looks back and he's like,
yeah.
Very fucking funny. But my god, why would you sign up for half of these covens?
Yeah, that's the thing. Half of them suck.
Yeah.
Potions coven, stupid as hell. Goop coven, abomination coven, also kind of stupid in comparison.
Abomination coven is just kind of like making a little guy who does stuff for you. That I could get behind.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, the potions one is like the most ridiculous to me, and like the most ridiculous that Luz like starts with that one. And then she's like, oh, actually, this one's kind of lame. Yeah, no shit, it's kind of lame. One of these is like the beast taming coven. Do that one.
Yeah, or the power coven, which is just working in construction.
Yeah, true.
So fucking Smelvin can take their power glyphs and literally cause anarchy. So I really enjoy it. Why is the chat talking about how Disney fucked this show?
Oh,
what's going on?
Because it got canceled. Like, so it gets canceled in a way that still makes it like a satisfying watch. Like she was told season 2, like she was told that they were gonna have to wrap it up. Rather than being like, oh yeah, you have 3 seasons, and then in season 2 being like, oh,
Gotcha.
you're done. So what's good is that like it does create a satisfying, like fulfilling arc. It's just that there's so much more the show could have done and so many other places the show could have gone to. And yeah, it definitely, it sucks. Like the farther it goes along, the better it gets. It's like One Piece, where it's like, you think you hit like the peak episode, and then it just gets better and better, and then the final episode is the best episode.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. Okay. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I'm having a really good time. I'm probably just gonna keep watching it here for like the next week. Dorothy doesn't come back for another whole 3 days, so I got nothing but free time here.
3 days. That's good.
3 days. Yeah. No. I will once again be completed. Did the Polish government make this show?
Where is this headed?
I don't know. Like the credits just have like a gajillion Polish names.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like there's like so much like I don't know if the creator is Polish or something. But there's like I don't know, like, so yeah, Dana Terrace. Nope, American animator. Everyone is also telling us to watch DuckTales. I'm sure you've heard of this.
Yeah, I'll probably never watch DuckTales. I can't imagine that one's like, it's DuckTales, you know? Like, you know what that is?
I don't know what DuckTales is.
You know what DuckTales is? It's a fucking Scrooge McDuck's show.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, apparently she did the 2017 remake.
Wow, that's
my god, Bobby Moynihan is in it, and Danny Pudi and Ben Schwartz.
Yeah, and so is David
Tennant.
Yeah,
and Beck Bennett.
It's got a crazy cast.
It does have a crazy cast. What the hell?
It's like most of SNL is in it.
That's wild. Listen, maybe we watch it together. Maybe we watch. Okay. Maybe that's how we get it. Nick is fucking. We might be here for a day or two. Okay, let's go. You know what? Fine. Nick, homework, DuckTales? Yeah, Danny's going to have to win something, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, no. So Owl House is a lot of fun. I'm going to keep on watching it. I would break Ada's hip. I
love her voice, dude. Her voice gets me going. So
how old do you think her voice actor is?
She's like 81, something like that.
She's like late 70s.
Yeah, I know her. You think I haven't looked this bitch up? She's also hot in real life for an 80-year-old woman. She
was a model. She was a model like back in the 90s.
Yeah, she looks like someone that would like seduce James Bond into a trap.
Dude, if you look at her IMDb page, it's crazy. Yeah. This woman has been acting forever, but she does such a good job with the role. And yeah, Ida is crazy hot. I would split her straight down the middle. Who's your favorite character?
Excluding Hootie, because I feel like that's not really what you're asking me.
Hootie's such a non-character.
You shut your goddamn mouth. I love Hootie. He's the funniest character.
Okay, first off, I want to tell you one of my first notes here, Dan. I want to tell you one of my first notes here. Big fan of what's ever going on with Hootie.
Yep.
Because the second we get introduced to the Owl House, he gets like the house gets hit, and he goes, "Ow!"
Yeah.
Yes. And I started cry laughing. I love that we just mix in. First off, I love that his voice is like, "Hi guys." I don't know why, but I love that. There's the one where they're all competing to see who's gonna have to watch to wash Hootie, and he's just rolling around in the mud, and he's like, "I'm 20% mucus," and then he's always like, there's the episode where they like animate him, and he's like, "I was just happy to be involved." Like I also love Hootie. I'm not gonna get my words twisted here at all, but basically a non-character. Like that is not, you cannot be chosen as your favorite character.
No, that's entirely fair. It is funny because he like, it feels like season 1, the idea with Hootie was that he was gonna be this like annoying character that's like funny, but like the audience would also like find annoying along with the characters. Just not the case. He's just endearing. People are so mean to him. Like in the show, everyone's shitting on him all of season 1, and then it feels like Dana Terrace realized that people just love him, and then like toned it down in season 2 because they're way nicer.
Yeah, they're like, he's like, "You guys want to hear what I did today?" And everyone's like, "No, fuck you, Hootie." And I was like, "Chill out."
No, I also like cracked up at that bit where he's like, they like slam his door, and he's like, "Ow, jeez, hoot." So that's great. But yeah, my favorite character is probably Amity.
Amity, really? Okay, I definitely understand. Like, I understand like how that would develop.
Yeah.
Like I think that's like I could absolutely see Amity being my favorite character down the line here, because I think out of all of the characters, she's really the only character who seems to go, at least from what I'm identifying, like at this point, who's going to seem to go on any character arc development of any sort. Like
they all go on some arcs, and then there's a character you haven't met yet who shows up in season 2 who's awesome. He's like a Zuko type.
Luz doesn't really, what I've seen, like I said, I'm 10 episodes in, but like Luz doesn't really go on a character arc. Like Luz just kind of wants to go to Hexside, and it's now just going to Hexside. If I would say in the first 10 episodes, if any character's already gone a character arc, it would be Ida. Because Ida was like, "Oh, I have this apprentice. Like, I'm not going to force her to try and live the life that I'm living, because obviously this isn't a life for everybody, but I trust her enough that I believe that she can go to Hexside and still like maintain her individuality, right?" And so she goes to Hexside. She talks to Principal Bump or whatever his name is, or Principal Hump or some shit.
Bump.
And yeah. And like she like fixes all the things that she fucked up at Hexside. And I was like, that's a pretty sweet moment. Like I thought that was really cool from Ida. And like we do kind of get like a moment from Gus where like Gus lies to Luz to get her to the school for like the human appreciation like program, and he realizes that like he's seeking validation rather than like noticing what's in front of him, which is his friends kind of thing. But like I would say my favorite character right now is probably Ida.
Wow. Yeah. Ida's great. Ida's very funny. She's very good. Luz definitely goes through an arc. If I had to compare her to any anime character, it would be Edward Elric. This show becomes very Full Metal Alchemist inspired.
I guess actually, yeah, no, I guess I am kind of forgetting the fact that like within the first 2 episodes, she's like, "Oh, I want to be special," right? She gets tricked onto that huge journey, and like she's got like this like the fucking powered up sword and all of that, and that is kind of a cool moment where like Ida's like, "Oh, listen, like none of us are special. We have to like work for the things that we have here. There's like no shortcuts." And I thought that was pretty sweet. Like Luz coming to grips with like the fact that this fantasy world isn't all that she cracked it up to be, but she's still gonna enjoy it, right? Like the fact that like real life can be monotonous and kind of ugly, but you have to find the beauty in it. So like I guess there was kind of that.
Yeah.
So I guess if I'm going to acknowledge like Ida's one episode of like, hey, I guess you can go to Hexside as growth, I should say the same for Luz.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad you're watching it, and it'll simply only get better and better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I don't know when our next like episode is going to be actually. So I don't know how much I'm going to see prior to then.
I don't know. That's up to you, baby.
It's up to me?
That's up to you. How is it up to me how much you watch?
Oh, no. I'm saying like our next episode. That's what's up to you.
Oh,
you're the one who's going to be out doing fucking family shit. I'm going to be here, baby. At fucking December 26th, I'm back. I'm locked in. I'm tied to my computer. It's going to be awesome.
Very exciting.
Man,
I'm excited for you.
You want to talk about Beastars?
Yeah. Dude,
So
this is episode 2 of season 3 of Beastars.
Yes.
And let me tell you, I was kicking my little feet, laughing my little head off at the end of this episode because boy, oh boy, do I love Tiny Mouse Gang.
Tiny Mouse, the corner mice, or was it the corner rats?
Yeah.
The corner rats, which are apparently there's just so many animal-based gangs in the Beastars world, and so we've been introduced to things like the Inari Gumi, which is like the Komodo Dragons gang, the Shishigumi, which is the Lions gang. We've been introduced to like the Inari, the whatever, like the fox
Scooby
one.
Dooby.
Yeah, there's so many. And so that all made sense because those were big carnivores, right? You're like, okay, yeah, of course. Of course, big carnivores would be the people in charge of like violent crime, right? They have the highest capacity to do that because they're super strong. They got big teeth. They're on top of society. And that was until episode 2 of season 3, where it was established that even if you're small, don't worry, there's always the option of just becoming a fucking mech.
Yeah, a bunch of rats turn into a big man in a trench coat and just try to take down some dudes. And then what was the cops, right? Yeah, they try to take down some cops, and then the cops break them up, and they put a bunch of the rats in like little sacks, and they start slamming the sacks against the wall and just bashing them. And then there's a line too where he's like, even us cops don't care about some rats. And I was like, nice. Love this cop dialogue.
Dude, that was wild. Like they're basically, to give even more context here. Yeah, I don't know if they're stealing money from the cops. I think they're stealing money from people who are handing out the fins. What is it? The Teenays or something? What's the name of the energy drink?
I don't remember the name, but yeah, there's this energy drink that like
I wrote it down.
Is an equivalent.
Kines or
it's
something.
Like an equivalent to like eating meat, sort of. Like it revs up predators.
It's an energy drink that has like some like blood and flesh and bones of herbivores in it. And so yeah, the entire idea is kind of like to get people hooked on the flavor of it. And then once like you're trying to like drink as much of it as possible to get that like hit of herbivore meat kind of thing. But once like at a certain point, the energy drink can't subsist it anymore. So they have to go to the black market for meat. I think the way that the Shishigumi and whoever their mysterious new boss is, whose voice is buttery, my God, whoever that is, holy shit. Anyways, they're like giving it to like they're giving it to youths, and the youths are handing it out, and they're like giving money to all these kids to like hand out as much kines as possible. And the mice or the rats, who are apparently like vigilantes, like the 500 rat gang is vigilantes, and so they pull up on these kids who are going to hand out a bunch of this energy stuff, and they are in a Mighty Morphin Rat Power Rangers fucking walking suit, and then the guys are like, oh, what is it, the Shishigumi? Because it's just this massive daunting figure. Nope, 500 rats in a trench coat. And then they immediately break up into balls. They break up into little balls, and they grab the money that these people had, and they just roll away as balls and run away with little bundles of cash. And then they're like, we're the corner rat gang, and we steal from the bad. And you're like, hell yeah, these are the greatest things I've ever seen. And then immediately they're getting stuffed in a sack and slammed against the wall like they're unwanted puppies in Alabama. Like they are fucking, and you can just see the bag is just getting juiced. It's just every time the bag hits the wall, it's just
blood against it.
Blood. And I was like, that cop just killed like 3 dozen fucking people.
Yeah, that was awesome. I really love everything to do with the Tiny Rat Gang. On top of that, yeah, we had the lamb woman or whatever she is. We had like the lamb girl.
Yeah. 7?
Yeah, 7.
Yeah.
Which I should call because Legoshi will get very angry.
Yeah, because there's a large talking point in this episode is that Legoshi's like, actually, that's not her name.
Dude, I love White Knight Legoshi. I know you hate him. I know you think he's like Kirito. I love when he swoops in for a defenseless dame who didn't ask for his help at all.
He is Mr. Save-A-Doe, and it's killing me. You like that? That was one of my zingers. Yeah, Mr. Save-A-Doe. Yeah. Don't worry, there's more. There's more to come from. There's more to don't worry. I got locked in, dude. I was writing down these zingers watching this episode. I was like, Danny, check the throne, baby, because I'm coming for it. When it comes to being punny, no, he loves the defense. He loves just like mucking up a woman's situation. Like he just loves stripping autonomy from a woman, being like, "Oh, silly lady, only I can do this as a man who's tall." And that's kind of what was cool about this episode. Is that's kind of a talking point, right? Where she's like, "How like." It's interesting, right? Because like I don't know if it's the right talking point that they focus on, where they're like, hey, she gets upset with him. She was like, it's annoying that you got to deal with my bullies as a non-fully grown adult, and you don't even have to like, you don't even have to be polite about it. You just have to like basically tell those guys to fuck off because you're huge. And that's an interesting talking point in it. And like, that's obviously a thing that like Seven would be upset about. But like on top of that, like at the same time, Legoshi stepping in there and being like, hey guys, buzz off is kind of like, I don't know. It's also like stripping her of like her like autonomy to like, you're basically saying I have no trust that you'd be able to handle the situation on your own.
Yeah. It's definitely, it's the whole show is like women writing men and women writing women a little bit, because I don't know if Legoshi, but I don't know, because Legoshi he starts going through a bit of an arc, because doesn't he have like a little introspection where he's like, oh, like, yeah, this is something that she must have to go through like every day that I can't even understand.
Yeah, it's definitely more about that he's like, oh, I couldn't even understand being that small kind of thing. He's like, so like she's talking on the fact that like she's annoyed that he is able to get out of that situation so easily. And like, so like, it's not like he's like, oh, he's not like, oh, I can't believe I stepped in there and like, you know, like silenced her ability to deal with that on her own. It was more like he was like, oh, I can't imagine being that small kind of thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's telling me to silence my yeah. I'm doing it. All right. I'm turning my notifications off. So the next time that somebody's like, "Oh, Nick, why didn't you you see what I DM'd you?" It's because I got yelled at. All right.
Apparently, the mangaka has a side story called Beast Complex.
Oh, that sounds more furry adjacent for sure.
I looked it up, and one of the images is this. I was gonna send it to your Discord, but I guess I can't do that now.
You can just share your screen. Share your screen. Share your screen. Share your screen.
I'm a scaled. Wait, let me close out of my email. That just shows my email. And let me close out of the tickets I'm buying. I was gonna say selling. Let me close out of my scalping app.
Yeah, that's what he's using all of his YouTube money on, to fucking run the ticket, to be the problem at Ticketmaster.
Beast Complex. Now, keep in mind, this is from Fur Affinity.
God, what the fuck? Why is that the image you would show me?
Keep in mind, this is from Fur Affinity, but also most of the images
are
people in nooses. I like this one, though. I like this guy a lot.
Yeah, that guy is fucking sick as hell. I also like that it's like all nooses and then that guy holding a noose-shaped object.
Oh my god, you're right. It's all Nice.
It's all Nice's, dog. And he's like, he's just happy because he hasn't put his head through that one yet, because his head wouldn't fit. That's the thing. That guy couldn't hang himself if he tried. He's all neck. You can't break that shit.
This looks like what I assume Odd Taxi is about.
I don't even get what is Odd Taxi about, dude? That's a great question. Yeah. That's just Legoshi. That is just Legoshi right there. Go down, left. How are you not seeing this? How are you not seeing the brown wolf who looks exactly like Legoshi? Oh my god. Up, you simple left. I'm gonna fucking now I know you're jorking on me. I know you're big jorking on me.
Oh, this?
Yes.
Oh, left. Your left.
What do you mean my left? That's when Legoshi did drag for that one episode.
Yeah.
Remember when Legoshi did like fucking Willem Dafoe level, like Willem Dafoe and Boondocks?
Yeah. Drag? This is Legoshi.
Yeah. Nice. God damn it. I need a live vote right now. What's better, Legoshi or Mr. Save-A-Dough? God damn it. No, now we need to get to the B-star, because I had another zinger for that one.
Okay. The horse?
Yep. So
yeah,
more like Bojacked Horseman. Pretty good, right?
I saw you panic briefly.
you said Bojack, and I was like, "Fuck, did he say Jack?" I was gonna
shut up.
I don't think I ever would have forgiven you. I think that literally would have been the end of our relationship. That would have been. Oh man, my heart just hit like 200. I was so proud of that, and. Oh, thank God I'm still the funny one on the podcast. That's huge for me.
Real quick, I do have to address. So people are saying like Anarchy Hamster saying, go check my super chat, please. Who Dat says they never acknowledge super chats.
We can't see them.
Yeah, the issue is we're recording this on Riverside, which is a app that allows us to both like have a Zoom call and live stream and record. So it's a lot more versatile and better than recording through YouTube. The problem is we can see the chat, but we can't see. It doesn't like highlight super chats. So
Yeah,
I didn't even know we were getting any.
The only way that we would do that is if we both streamed and watched ourselves stream, we'd be able to see super chats.
The problem with that is it'll hurt my bandwidth. So like the stream may be worse. Stank, if you're watching, if you could text me any super chats to the Otakus Anonymous group chat, that'd be great. And then I could get to them because I don't want to. Thank you guys for sending money. I don't want to ignore that. I just didn't know it was happening.
Yeah, we can't see it, unfortunately.
Anyway.
So they introduced I thought it was another wolf. I thought that BoJack Horseman was another wolf when they initially introduced him in episode 1 of season 3. My God, what a absolute like smoking blue steel, just man of a man, horse of a horse that thing is. I think it's an interesting character. I'd love to see how it plays out. He was like, I have to keep an eye on all of the suppressed races and all of that. And my God, listen, I understand we've been doing like the herbivores or lesser citizens than carnivores things for a while, but the fact that a dog cop, the Doberman, was able to juice like 24 of those rats in a mass execution really proved that there is a caste system in this fucking world.
Well, that's what it's funny. He comes in and like the cops are like, even cops like us don't give a shit about no rats. Rats is less than us. And then he comes in, he's like, no, all lives are equal. And then he opens the bag and like some of the rats are like resuscitating each other. And he's just like
covered in blood.
Just covered in blood. And he's just like, shame what had to happen to him. And it's like, what do you mean? Just tell these other cops to stop doing this.
I fucking kill this Doberman. Like, what are we talking about? This guy just committed like multiple attempted murders. Like that, like one more swing, we would have had it would have been a fucking Jonestown in that bag, dude, for those rats. That was insane. Season 3 is out, yes.
Season 3 is out, yeah, baby. But yeah, it's just so funny that it's like he's like all lives are equal. But also like I was just doing my job. I'm just doing the paycheck.
It's like, no, you're a monster. And like, I do love the idea that like when the cop is like, even us cops, like cops are the moral measuring stick of human society ever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, even us policemen don't give a shit about you. And it's like, oh yeah, of course. That's absolutely 100% the moral fucking measuring stick of the human society. My last thing is the Kines thing. It's just Reaganomics. It's just fucking Reagan flooding historically black neighborhoods with crack, and then just being like, oh, by the way, we're gonna increase prison sentences on possession charges so that we can get all of these people that I just got hooked on crack into prison, into our fucking private system of slaves that's now somehow acceptable because we pay prisoners 25 cents an hour to work. I was like, this is literally bar for bar Reaganomics.
Yeah. Which is interesting and impressive considering it's Japanese. You know what I mean? Like,
is it?
What, the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Oh, I always thought like because it's on Netflix, I didn't know it was actually Japanese.
Oh, yeah, it's based on a manga.
Oh. Yeah, you're right. It is based on a manga. I'm an idiot.
So...
You're absolutely right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably not like, I don't know. It's probably not like an apt comparison. Like they probably just thought like, I'm sure the author was just like, oh, I wonder how we could get more people to the black market. And I seriously doubt they know like the politics of 1980s America, but like still.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, because I also was like, oh, this is a weird out of nowhere extra plot that I didn't really see coming. I like that Legoshi's like, weird fiery beast form like keeps showing up.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Eren. Do you remember Flaming Eren Yeager?
Flaming Eren Yeager?
You remember his like fire form that he only had in one episode and it was like anime only? It's not in the manga.
Fire, what would I even look up? Eren form?
Eren.
The hell are you talking about, dog?
Yeager fire form.
No, I don't. When his muscles were regrowing and shit, and like he was like kind of like on fire. Yeah,
he was like on fire. Oh, here, Stank sent bunch of super chats. Oh my god, thank you everybody.
All right, we're gonna pause real quick and address all of
right.
these super chats here. I'll do them.
What do you mean you'll do them? Why?
Danny will do them. That's what I meant.
TD Gaming. Why would I be like, oh, Stank just sent a bunch of these. Here they are. And then you go, DD Gaming, we'll alternate, for $10. Guys, going back to Daima real quick, have you seen the meme of this is the face of enemies to friends for DB when it's like Pikkon, Nova Shenron, now Majin Duu, how they all have the same face. Oh, that's interesting. So you think Majin Duu's gonna become a friend, although Cell's second form doesn't become a friend, and he also has that face. They're talking about the lips essentially.
I see. Yeah. That's definitely a Danny question. Danny knows way more about Dragon Ball than I do. Also, y'all, we're my YouTube podcast of the year in 2024. Keep it up. That's very nice of you, DD Gaming. Corey B asks, do you guys not like Tower of God? Never hear you discuss manhwa or anime. Would love for you to do breakdowns like you do on Hunter x Hunter, JJK, or Chainsaw Man. Tower of God's first season is really good. Tower of God's second season is a fucking travesty. That's why we don't talk about it.
Have you heard of... Oh, what was it? Austin Porter loved this anime. It's like a dude, it's Chinese, dude in a baseball cap. Hold on, I might be able... Am I sharing my screen?
No.
Good,
it's Chinese guy in a baseball cap?
Guy in a baseball cap, he does like Wing Chun in a park in like one of the more famous scenes.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Is he protecting a little girl? Is that what you're talking about?
It's Hitori no Shida.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's unfortunately a lot of Chinese anime are really fucking hard to get your hands on. Like Fog Hill is 5 Elements is whenever people are like, oh, what's the greatest example of choreography in anime history? I always say it's Fog Hill of the 5 Elements, but it's almost impossible to find. The only reason that I was able to watch all of Fog Hill of the 5 Elements is because I had to have Dorothy translated to me live whenever the subtitles skipped.
Yeah, so that's crazy also. What a way to bootleg something.
It was great. It'd be like, we watch it together, and I was like, you're going to love this, because it's just fighting, and it's in Chinese. And we watch it together, and every time the subtitle skipped, you would like, he's saying this. And I'm like, thanks, babe.
Hitori no Shida, a video game is coming out. It's like an arena fighter. It looks very cool. But this, like, I may start either watching or talking about this if the game is good. But we talk about Chinese, like, manhwa a lot. We talk about Link Click. We talked about, like, solo leveling kind of counts. But yeah, there's not a lot that like hits mainstream, and then also like Nick said, it's hard to get your hands on like the good ones. Like everyone keeps being like, read Kingdom, and it's like, when I can get a version that's not translated by a 13-year-old.
Exactly. There's like, like Golden Kamuy and a lot of things like that. Like, I guess Golden Kamuy is probably just on Crunchyroll. We could watch it. But yeah, there's a lot of like really popular, at least Japanese, Chinese, Korean stories that like, is it cool? Do I have to get a web novel subscription and pour through all these web novel postings and try to find, it's a whole thing. And we already watch so much and we try to keep up with so much. And like fundamentally it suits us better to try and cover the things that are popular, like super popular. But yeah, Sandman F says, trying this to waste 2 seconds of your time. Thank you for the $2. It's very nice.
Jacques Kaburamanzi says, at least you got the better beard, Nick.
Huge. Thank you.
Yeah, that is huge. And then XDomFH, One Piece is an objectively bad anime, and I hate the fandom, constantly huffing copium. Yes, I have seen every episode. I'll get around to that because we have Screen Rant's 50 best anime series of all time coming up.
What an objectively insane thing to say. I've seen 1,200 episodes of a show and it sucks.
True.
I've committed 12 full days to watching this thing I hate. What?
Yeah, you're lying about one of your statements.
Yeah,
like,
you either fucking love the show or you have not seen all of it. And then Ducks, Elden Ring has beautiful women that look like adults. Fair.
Yeah, fair. I like this is fun because it's really put me on a walk down memory lane of this episode of the podcast. It's like, when we were talking about Siri. BeatStars mangaka is currently writing a mangaka of a woman cucking her husband with a ghost. Huge. It is wild. She's also writing a manga about Santa.
That's the hardest working woman in the entire manga history. That's just B movie, but for like horror fans.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what she's doing. She just saw how popular B story was, and she was like, "I'm gonna fucking make that shit." Yeah. I would like to know Danny's option knowledge. It's not how you spell knowledge, but that's fine. Of ReZero, because y'all need to talk about it for the second part of the season in February. Danny knows fucking diddly about ReZero, dog. Danny doesn't watch Isekai.
I know he gets Read Kingdom, you Philistines. That's funny.
Nice, huge.
I know Subaru gets eaten by bunnies at one point.
Yeah, oh, brother. That happens more than once. I actually happen. You'd be surprised by the amount of times this motherfucker dies at the hands of rabbits.
Jeez.
Rabbits are like really bad in ReZero.
It's like a harem anime, right?
It's not particularly egregious in its harem anime aspects. Like ReZero is definitely like it's okay. Yes, is every woman that Subaru meets, do they fall in love with him in some capacity? Kind of, but they're not like trying to fuck him constantly. Like it's the least egregious harem anime I've ever come across, except for the fact that like maybe Boruto is slowly but surely devolving into a harem anime, and Black Clover may also be a harem anime, considering the fact like there's like 4 women in love with Asta.
Black Clover definitely is, because there's 4 women and like 6 men who are in love with Asta.
I don't know about men. What man in Black Clover is in love with Asta outside of You can't say
there's the dude who's like Fuegolian's little brother, Leo or something.
Completely forgot about him. Yep. No, you're right. Yeah. But listen, they're not looking.
Magna?
No, that's a buddy. Those are two. They're two just bro dude guys who hang. Listen, I'm all for shipping dudes with other dudes, because if you write a gay character, I'm gonna call a spade, baby. But like there is in Black Clover, at least I find majority of the male relationships to be like pretty platonic. Like the only one that I could truly see would be Asta and they're just way too obsessed with each other for there not to be anything going on there. Everybody else pretty platonic, but like there is like Mimosa, Noelle, there's the girl with the younger siblings who works at the restaurant. There's a couple of ladies that are in love with Asta. I don't know when a harem becomes a harem though. Is it 3?
3 seems like it, right? Because otherwise it's just a triangle.
Yeah. And that's pretty standard. There's almost always a triangle of some sort. I spent 90,000 minutes listening to you on Spotify. That's fucking insane, Bobby D Photography. That's huge. Thank you so much. I don't even think we definitely do not have that many minutes at all. But yes, moving back on to what we were talking about here outside of harem anime and ReZero and all of that, we should talk about Dandadan's final episode here, Dan.
Yeah, I crunched the numbers.
Yeah.
If we had, actually, 9,000 divided
we're on like
by
episode like 95, right? We're close to 100.
9,000 divided by 120, right? That would tell us how many minutes it is.
The 9,000 divided by 120?
That would tell us how many episodes it is. Each episode is roughly 120 minutes.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So that he's watched 75 episodes of us.
That's it.
That's it.
God, the way AI could just make our voices in a fucking heartbeat.
What are you talking about?
We got so much, Danny. We have so much air out there. We have so much air out there. Every single word in our vocabulary we've said into a microphone.
That's true.
This is not the final episode of Dandadan? What? No, it is.
I think it definitely is.
I think it definitely is.
It is. So
we're talking about episode 12 of Dandadan.
I saw one person earlier was like, "Are you guys going to talk about how bad this episode of Dandadan was?" What are your thoughts?
Wait, so Dandadan is set to have a total of 12 episodes in its first season. As of now, all 12 episodes have aired.
Actually, I know this is the last episode because I saw news that season 2 is airing in July. Which is so soon.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's probably...
July?
I'm nervous about the animation quality. I hope it's, like, already done. Let me see.
They were so far ahead of schedule with the releasing of this that they were able to leak all for like the first 6 episodes months in advance, right? Yeah. So like, I'd like to assume that Science Saru is probably staying on top of it. Science Saru also isn't really like animating anything else, right? So it's all hands on deck. It's all hands on deck for like this one project, right? Yeah. So I think I'm not that nervous about it. Also, like a lot of people have been giving Science Saru their flowers about how good it looks. And I think Blue Lock has made us kind of pessimistic about the fact that, like, oh, if something does well, they're just going to nerf it in the second season. I don't see that happening with this just because the manga is so pretty, and the manga is very pretty at Blue Lock, but like Bandai Namco, if you give them a rope, they'll hang themselves with it, right?
Yeah.
This is something that we've seen Bandai do time and time again. Science Saru, this is their number one project. This is the thing that's making them like an actual like animation studio to contend with. Obviously, they've had hits in the past, but this is their one thing right now. This episode was fine. I don't think this was a bad episode.
It's not bad. It's definitely a weird season finale.
It was a wild ending to an episode, and a wild not a wild episode like wild ending to a season.
It's this out of every episode, I'd have to really like go back and think. But I think this might be the most nothing episode, which is weird for a season finale.
It's a travel episode. That's the thing. It's like, that's what I was telling you. Is like, basically, like, Dandadan's in a weird spot because, like, while there is technically a plot, the overarching plot is just the family gets bigger.
Yeah.
That's the entire purpose of Dandadan, is just every single arc brings a new character that joins the found family, and then that arc is addressing the problems of that that new found family member. And this arc that's coming up is Gigi's arc. And so there really wasn't, like, I don't know. Like, if you were the writers of Dandadan, and assuming that you had to cut it off prior to this moment, where would you have cut it off?
At the, like, mantis shrimp fight. Like, the big, what's it called, guy? The Acro Silky and, Ken, like, working together to fight the mantis shrimp in the...
Okay, so you're saying once the mantis shrimp is, like, so you're not even doing the fact, like, that they give it milk, they give it a cow, and they send it off, or?
You could, if you really want to, that could be the season finale, and you have it be, like, that's like an epilogue kind of episode to the mantis shrimp. If you want, like, a big climactic one, like, you could definitely end it at, like, the mantis and Loch Ness Monster one, because it makes sense as a finale, because it's, like, the aliens returned, you know? So you get that closure from episode 1 where they come back. Now it's a 2-parter. They've, like, really upped their gear. Acro Silky and Ira, like, fuse and, like, are doing their form. Ken is working with Ira to, like, beat it. They're all working together, all 3 of them. It's, like, it's the perfect arc of the season.
I guess, yeah.
And then, if you want an epilogue, you do the one where the mantis shrimp guy comes back, they send him back to space.
Do you know where I think they should have ended the season? Like, if I wasn't to end it in this way, I have no issue whatsoever with this episode or how it ended necessarily, but that's because I know the manga, I know what's coming, and there's a new season coming in 7 goddamn months. Like, in literally, once the next anime season ends, we will be getting more Dandadan, which is fucking crazy to say out loud. But actually, no, we'll have to do winter and then spring. So 2 seasons. But anyways, I think if I was going to end it in a spot that wasn't this, I'd probably say end it when you introduce Gigi. Like, have Gigi open the door, be like, hi, everybody, and then curtains season 1. And then it's like, cool, got it. And then all of Gigi's arc is compartmentalized into season 2. And then all of the next arc is like, all of the next person's arcs is compartmentalized into season 3 kind of thing. And like, well, not all of the found characters necessarily need entire arcs. Some of their arcs are like wrapped up in 3-4 episodes, or at least they could be. Gigi's arc is probably going to be at least 10 episodes.
Yeah, David writes, where was it? David writes, the episode ends on a cliffhanger that shouldn't be a season end. I agree. I think a cliffhanger can end a season. Like you said, the Gigi one would make a lot of sense and would be good. This cliffhanger is so weird because it's like, okay, like, it doesn't leave me being like, oh, like, what does this mean? What's gonna happen? Like, Ira's definitely gonna get out of this situation. I mean, Ayase is definitely going to get out of this situation because she's absolutely strong enough to. Like, it's so weird that she's like, can my powers that have defeated a giant sumo ghost and a Loch Ness monster defeat 6 regular guys?
Yeah, just 6 crocodiles. Yeah.
I hated, he was like, what you know about gators? And he's like, and then I had to learn about the rampant gator community in Japan. That was wild.
Yep.
I hate that that's so prevalent that there's, like, a cute term for it. Why are there no security guards at these fucking places?
In a co-ed bath? Because usually a co-ed bath is optional. Usually, like, a co-ed bath is actually kind of rare.
Anything that's optional should still be, like, safe, you know?
Oh, of course.
It's like skydiving has, like, instructors. It's still optional, you know?
Very fair. Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, probably because there's like a pervasive, if you want to get into like the real nitty gritty of it, it's because there's a pervasive issue in Japan of like conservatism and like women not being treated as equals. If that's what you truly want as me. Like if you go to Japan and you spend like a significant amount of time there, you'd be like, oh, we're in the 80s. Like from like a feminism standpoint, like we are in the 80s. Yeah. So also we have cougars. We do have cougars. That's fair. But yes, so I thought from like a cliffhanger standpoint, like even in this episode, if you wanted to end this season on the episode, Gigi being like, I can't sleep because of him, and then showing the evil eye, that would have been a really good ending too. But the like when they punch the hole, that scene is so important in the manga. Like it's a real turning point in the manga. So them ending there, I'm not necessarily upset with. That being said, like everyone being like, oh, this episode was mid. This episode was mid. It's a travel episode. We're like, this is literally the episode where we are between two arcs. Like we did a little brief stint with Taro and Hannah. And like their characters are kind of like nothing burgers that play a little bit into the story at the end of Gigi's arc. What?
I just got what the cougar thing was. People were like, we have cougars. That's the same. That is not the same. The gator thing is because creepy old men will go in these hot spring baths and like up to their eyeballs so they look like alligators and then like drag women underneath.
Well, I don't. It's obviously it's being fucking hyperbolized. Basically, what they're based off the idea that like there is like men are creepy in co-ed spaces, like at like co-ed baths. Like they're like, oh, if there's ever a cute girl in a co-ed bath, they get made uncomfortable by older men who they call gators because they creep on these younger, more attractive like female that are using a co-ed space.
It's still different in that a cougar is just like an older woman who is like horny. Or hot, rather. It's like an old woman who's hot. It's the male equivalent is like a silver fox. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like a cougar isn't someone who like preys on younger men. At least I don't think. I feel like the male equivalent is silver fox, where it's meant to be a positive term. Like no one's like, oh, stay away, she's a cougar. You know?
Well, I don't know if I would say cougar is a positive term either. It's more of just an identifier. Like I wouldn't say cougar denotes positivity or negativity. It's just like, oh, that older woman is trying to fuck like me, a 21-year-old. You know, like that's what I identify a cougar as. Oh, we got another super chat here. Stank is on top of it. Now you made me feel bad, Nick. I'm enjoying TOG. LOL. Did you at least read the manhwa? It's okay. I'll keep listening to you guys.
TOG. What is that?
Tower of God.
Oh.
And listen, you can enjoy whatever you want. Fuck my opinion. Who gives a shit? I just didn't like season 2 of Tower of God. I have bad anime opinions. Music F3B asks for $10. Thank you. Do you guys have strong opinions on American comics? Personally, I don't like reading something that repeatedly changes the canon. There's some fun stuff. I mean, I grew up a DC kid personally, which is why I'm so excited about things like Creature Commandos, but I never really gave a shit about Marvel, which is why I've kind of dropped the Marvel, like the MCU. But I'm very excited about what James Gunn is doing with the DCEU. Did you see the Superman trailer? Dan?
Yeah, I did. What'd you think?
Oh, dude, Superman's about to fucking super all over my fucking man. There's color. Oh, I'm sorry. Fucking, I blacked out there. Yeah, there's color, and there was a kid. And listen, I like the Dan Snyder Super. We're on this podcast. It's
not Dan Snyder.
What? I love
not Dan Schneider.
Like the foot-focused Superman, where it's just like it's like the POV of him flying, and it's just like your toes.
Superman's played by 13-year-old Hilary Duff. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They fucking de-age her with CGI. But no, the trailer looks really, really good. I like Man of Steel a lot. I enjoyed the iteration of Darker Superman, but this looks like a pure Superman story. So I'm very excited. I missed the digit. My time listening was 1,900 minutes. Says Bobby D Photography. That's insane. Oh, we have so many of these. And Stank Stank just sent one of them twice. So never mind. Stank, you're an idiot. But yes, cool. So back to Dandadan here. Yeah. Listen, I get that people are going to say that. You're doing your great Iggy Azalea.
Thank you. Seraph mentioned that the whole didn't have enough to make me invested in it, and I completely agree.
That's the first time Seraph's ever said that out loud. Go!
Hey. I agree, Seraph.
We're allowed to make fun of him.
I agree, Seraph.
Apologies.
Mother Fluffin. Yeah, well, because you were like, oh, the hole is like a huge point of relevance in the manga.
Mhm.
I don't think that matters as an anime-only watcher. Like, the issue with the whole is that they didn't do anything to make me feel that. Like,
Yeah.
I guess the intention is that it's like, we've seen these cursed seals before, and, like, one of them keeps out, like, you know, the sumo
The
ghost. And, like,
the Flatbush monster, yeah.
yeah, like, one is enough to keep out, like, all the monsters we've seen so far. And then to see this room that's, like, filled with them is like, oh, this is like some Maharaga level beast.
Mhm.
But it doesn't, like, I don't know, it wasn't, that impact wasn't like, I like kind of needed to see like the grinning face of whatever it is, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Exactly. That's why I think them ending it with GG being like, I can't sleep, and then being Evil Eye. Like, the first time we see the Evil Eye, that'd have been a really, really cool way of them ending the season. But I don't know. I have no real issues with it. I'm very excited for it to come back in July. I mean, we'll live without it. You know, I actually wonder what the anime season looks like. I wonder how many anime have been announced for that season. Because, like, it might honestly, I don't know about any anime coming out. That'd be summer 2025. I really don't know about any anime coming out that season. It might be like another, Dandadan season 2. And then the second biggest thing is, oh, Christ, Harukagar Shinda Natsu. Oh, Sakamoto's Day. Part 2 is coming out in summer 2025. Part 1's coming out next season.
wow.
There's not that much confirmed right now for summer 2025 because it's just so far off right now, but that is wild, dog. Oh my God. That is a crazy, crazy turnaround for Sakamoto Days Part 2. Dude, spring 2025 is going to be so much fun. New Fire Force season. And,
you're right.
New Fire Force season and Windbreaker season 2. So we squabbling up, Dan. We're squabbling up. You're so excited for Windbreaker. You're so excited for Windbreaker. Oh my God, I can see the excitement on your face.
No.
You're so excited.
I'm so excited for Fire Force. I will tell you that. I'm so excited for. That's awesome. I literally think about that sound every day of my life. No exaggeration.
It's my Roman Empire for sure. Like, I absolutely think about, like, I think about the Ava scream. I think about, or no, it's the alien scream. I don't know if you've ever seen like everyone, when people talk like peak sound design, it's usually Neon Genesis or it's Fire Force. I don't know if you've ever seen the alien scream laser beam in NGE.
No.
Oh,
What's
damn.
NGE?
I need you to look up alien. Or what would that be called? Is it the alien scream? Look up alien scream NGE.
Alien screaming sound effect.
Danny, this is gonna.
Okay, that wasn't helpful.
This is gonna change. What would that be called, chat? Do you guys here know what that would be called?
Scream geometrically.
The what? I don't know if they're named aliens. That's the issue. NGE scream laser sound effect.
Aren't they angels?
Oh, they are angels. Yeah. Look up angel. Look up angel scream NGE. This compares to Fire Force. Like, this is a comparable sound effect.
The many roars of EVA units.
Oh, that's AV units. No. It's got to be angels.
All right, well, let's do this after. I can't find this shit.
Okay, whatever you say. This brings us to Danny. I believe you had a game prepared for us today, right?
I don't really have a game, but I do have a list.
You got a game.
So I have the list up here of Screen Rant's top 50 anime of all time, and this is a list that has upset 100% of people who have looked at it. It's really insane. It's an absolute crackerjack list, and I'm just gonna read off some random anime, and you are gonna guess where it fits on this list.
Yeah, I think this should be pretty easy. I feel like I have a pretty good perception of what people enjoy, what people don't. So I feel like I can nail this here.
Okay, so we'll start off pretty easy. One of your favorite anime of all time.
Okay.
What number do you think Naruto is?
See, here's the thing. Naruto can be a little polarizing. People are like, oh, I didn't like the 4th grade Shinobi World War. I feel as though because his list is really bad, it shouldn't be in the top 5. But Naruto fundamentally should be in the top 5. I'm going to call it 7. I'm going to say 7 is a safe place to assume. Because if you put Naruto at 7 and you've seen all of Naruto, that's a bad choice.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's any higher than 7.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a very level-headed and like objective answer. It's not on the list at all. It didn't make the cut.
Have they said that it's not top 50?
No.
The one that was popular? The one?
It didn't make the list at all. Wait, real quick, before you pull the trigger, feel free to keep that in your mouth. Where do you think Bleach is?
7.
Also not on the list.
Okay, here we go. Okay. That's absolutely insane. Why? You're telling me 2 of the greatest anime, 2 of the most popular anime of all time don't make top 50?
Yeah, he goes, though Naruto and Bleach are both incredible series, their abundance of poor filler eliminates them from ranking.
Hey, buddy. Who's got a gun to your head being like, you need to skip the filler? See, filler's annoying on like a week by week basis, right? If you're watching Naruto or Bleach when it's coming out week by week, that is completely understandable. In the fact that you'd be like, oh, like I don't think this should be considered as one of the greatest anime of all time. But the fact that it's now complete and like there is very, very pervasive, like very, very pervasive filler lists, right? Like filler lists that are like, hey, you can skip all these episodes to just watch the canon, and the pacing of the canon episodes is as good as any modern day anime, at least in case of Naruto. Like, how do you keep that out of the top 50 for filler?
All right, you ready for me to really piss you off? Okay, where would you place Attack on Titan? Everything from now on is on the list, by the way.
Okay. If I had to say that, like, if I'm ranking Attack on Titan, I'm saying it's top 10. It's top 10 for sure, right? But as to whether or not it's like, I don't know, for them, if they're trying to be annoying, I'm going to say 12. I'll say 12. That feels way too high. Even me putting Attack on Titan at 10, I'm like, that's kind of like, people would get upset about me putting it at 10.
Yeah, that's fair. That's entirely fair. Do you think people would be upset if you put it at 44?
What's their reasoning? What's their reasoning for Attack on Titan, well considered to be one of the fucking most complete anime of all time, to be 43? Even if I was on like my most exquisite hater shit, I could not seriously identify 43 anime greater than Attack on Titan.
The worst part is they don't really justify the placement. It's more... They just glaze all of them. Like, it's not glaze. Like, obviously, these are all some of the best anime ever. But it's more like, here's why it's on the list at all. There aren't any that's like, here's why it's not number 7, you know?
Nuts.
I'll do, how about Death Note? So, Attack on Titan was 44 out of 50.
I would put Death Note high teens, personally.
Wow.
But yeah, listen, Death Note's good. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that Death Note's good, like, not good. Like, Death Note is very good. And being high, like, with how much anime I've seen, Death Note being high teens isn't like a bad thing. Like, I could tell you right now 15 anime better than Death Note. Like, that's the thing. So I'll say 16.
Okay. Yeah, so that one's 40. And then I'll real quick do a quick lightning round. Steins Gate is 39.
That's no, that's not lightning round, Danny. That's not lightning round, Danny. Steins Gate, outside of FMAB, if there's one anime that the entire anime fan base agrees is objectively perfect, it's Steins Gate.
Yeah. 39 out of 50. Now, let me ask you something, Nick. This one, think real hard on this.
Okay.
Where would you put the anime Scott Pilgrim Takes Off?
Jesus fucking, oh my God. Is Velma on there too? Oh my God, dude. There's no, it's like top 10, isn't it?
Where would you put it? Realistically,
Danny,
think objectively, where does it belong?
I saw the first 2 episodes and I got so bored out of my skull I dropped it. It wouldn't make the top 100. I'd say genuinely, if I had to rank Scott Pilgrim, whatever the fuck, 200. It would be in the 2. I've seen probably close over the duration of my decade and a half of being an anime fan, probably close to 200 anime. I'd put it in the last 10% of the things I've watched.
Right. Yeah, it's number 25.
Jesus fucking Christ. They said it was better than AOT and Steins Gate. What do they say? Danny, what do they say about Scott Pilgrim is we're not doing the Scott Pilgrim story, the anime? What do they say about it? Why is it so good?
If Scott Pilgrim Takes Off has one thing going for it, though, It's that it was made almost 2 decades after the original graphic novel. With the benefit of a decade, Scott Pilgrim's creator has had time to reflect on his most famous creation and drill down into the psyche of its cast in ways that are occasionally uncomfortable but are always emotionally fulfilling.
Cool.
Yeah.
Really, really dope.
So
Really
that's 25 anime better than fucking Attack on Titan, than Naruto,
than Bleach.
This is a whack list, Nick. Here's some other anime.
It has to be rage bait. It has to be rage bait.
I'm gonna do another little lightning round just to show you what's between Scott Pilgrim and Death Note.
I don't know if this person exists. I've never met a person who had these takes. I've talked to thousands of weebs. I've never bumped into somebody who sniffed these takes.
I'm gonna tell you. So, actually, the highest on the list. That's probably the most infuriating. It goes number 48, Gintama.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Then it goes 47, Code Geass.
Oh my god.
Then 46, Haikyuu.
That's because, like, I get not liking shonen. I understand not liking shonen, but non-shonen fans love What the fuck? What is this person into?
Yeah, I'll let you know. First off, Scott Pilgrim for sure.
Is Rick and Morty the anime on here? Or they're like its pervasive ability to be absolutely non-comprehensible with its bold take on what animation should look like gets it our number 9 spot.
What do you think Neon Genesis Evangelion is?
42.
That's fair. It's 27. Still worse than Scott Pilgrim.
Be fucking consistent. Be consistent. If you're gonna be like, oh, Neon Genesis, also oftenly talks about as a perfect anime that the entirety of the anime community agrees on to be a fucking masterpiece. If you're gonna put Steins Gate in the 40s, and you're gonna put Neon Genesis in the mid 20s, Steins Gate is a better anime than fucking Neon Genesis. It is. It just is.
At 23, better than even the legendary Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, is Ping Pong the Animation.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Have you heard of this?
Yes, I've heard of Ping Pong the anime. It's so it's like the 9th best sports anime. It's Haikyuu. It's Haikyuu, Kuroko no Basket, First Basket, King of Tennis, the fucking Yuri on Ice, 4 more, and then every boxing one, every fucking Megalobox. We got.
Oh, Megalobox. Where do you think that goes?
Megalobox is on the list.
Yep.
Megalobox is like I could list you right now 3 boxing anime better than Megalobox. Okay. Oh my god, I don't know. Megalobox is like it's probably 16, right?
Megalobox is number 30. Hajime no Ippo is not on the list.
Oh my god, I'm gonna light myself on fire. Oh my god, is the fucking mech boxing one with the what you always remember the name and I always forget it.
No.
Yeah,
Megalo's the only one. Now, all right,
Megalobox being the only combat sports anime on here is horrendous.
Ask me some anime and I'll tell you where they are on the list. Ask me anime and tell me where you think they are.
Madoka Magica.
All right, Madoka is on the list. Where do you think it is?
Here's the thing. It's Madoka is as close to a shoujo as I believe we're gonna sniff on this list. I know Nana's on this list at like 6 or something. Madoka,
Nana
I'm gonna say
is not on the list.
Nana's not. Be so fucking for real. Be so fucking for real with me.
It's not.
I think Scott Pilgrim, because I think he did a really good job of I don't want to be I was gonna be like, because I think he does a good job of empowering the women in the story, and then I was like, that's not a voice I should use for that line. But and then being like, oh, Nana, the greatest shoujo of all time, is not on the fucking list. Oh my god, I want to find this person. I want to if I had one constitutionally approved killing, it would be this person. Madoka Magica is 12.
Madoka Magica is number 8.
Okay, you know what?
Hi.
That's the first time I've agreed with them. That is the first time I've agreed with them.
Honestly, genuinely, I'd put it at number 1.
Madoka Magic is one of the greatest anime of all time. It truly, well and truly is. If people come up to me like it's my favorite anime of all time, I cannot tell you are wrong. It's fucking incredible.
The only thing I'd say Full Metal Alchemist has on it is its length. Like Full Metal Alchemist, I don't usually agree with you in these like terms, but like I usually like to be like, oh, you know, if an anime's 4 episodes long and a masterpiece, that's better than like a 50 episode long like 9 out of 10.
Okay.
But like Madoka Magica is like 12 episodes and a couple of movies. Full Metal Alchemist is like 60 episodes, and I think it just is like so good for so much longer that Full Metal probably should be above it.
It's simultaneously, because it has several arcs, it manages to tackle several key issues in different arcs, and it does it well every single time.
Yeah.
Give me, I don't know. I'm looking at is One Piece on the list?
Where are you? Let me see. It simply must be. Hold on.
There's no way they have all 3 of the big 3 off.
Oh my god. 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 One Piece is not on here. One Piece isn't on the list at all.
All 3 of the big 3 and its little brother 4th option, Gintama, are not on your list of the top 50 greatest anime. Just say top 50 non-shonen anime of all time then. Like, admit your clear and obvious shonen bias.
Oh, there's shonen on here.
What shonen? What shonen is on there?
Ask a shonen.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Nope.
AOT was on it, I guess. Oh my god, Demon Slayer. I know they have Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer's not on the list. Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer's not on the top 50 anime of all time. Okay, Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, where do you think it is?
Oh my god, it's like high 30s, isn't it?
It's like 21.
Oh my god, what was Scott Pilgrim again?
25.
Okay, 4 spots away. Hunter x Hunter is 4 spots away.
It's only It's only 4 spots better than than Scott Pilgrim, and also 1 spot better. Only 1 spot better than Gurren Lagann.
Gurren Lagann is 22. Higher. Gurren Lagann is 22.
Yeah.
And the big 3 are not on. Is Trigun on there?
Trigun is on here. Which Trigun, though?
There's no way it's the new one. There's no way it's the new one. Trigun's something annoying. Like, it's not a fucking 20 episode show. It's like fucking, they put it at like 7 or some shit, didn't they?
No, it's 32.
You see, honestly, that's still right.
That's fair, though, I feel. Samurai Champloo's right above it at 33.
Saying Trigun's better than Samurai Champloo is fucking absurd. That is absurd. Listen, I love Trigun. I love the original Trigun. It's not better than... Okay, if Samurai Champloo's on the list, is Cowboy Bebop on the list?
It is, but real quick, before I give you Cowboy Bebop, you want to know what else is on the list at number 31?
What?
Wolf's Rain, baby.
Oh.
Wolf's Rain, baby! In a post-apocalyptic world where wolves are extinct.
Don't exist. Yes. Oh,
I love this guy.
God, this is the worst.
Mr. Evan D. Mullican, I love
his address. Give me his address right. I'm spinning the block.
By the way, I'm so sorry. I'm genuinely so sorry. I genuinely meant to do this at the top. I only found this list because of my great friend Daniel Duenas, who does their TikTok is. Let me just plug them because they're about to do. No, it's like wholesome gay shit, I think.
Oh, gotcha. It is objectively wholesome gay shit. Yeah. I will admit.
Oh no, it's Mr. Daniel Duenas. But yeah, Mr. Daniel Duenas, they're like going to make a video about this. And they told me about this list. I asked them if I could talk about it on the podcast. They said yes. Anyway, Cowboy Bebop.
Wild.
What number? What do you think?
If it's not top 15, the pot ends. What is it, Danny?
3.
Okay, that's absurd. Listen, I love Cowboy Bebop as much as the next person. If you're saying the Cowboy Bebop is Cowboy Bebop's really good. It's like really good. But like, if you're saying that there's only 2 anime in existence better than Cowboy Bebop, you haven't watched enough anime. I'm sorry. All right, give me the top 10 so I can be done and fucking free from this.
I want you to ask about one more.
You want me to ask about one more?
Yeah.
Is it one in particular? Are you trying to lead a horse to water here?
I'm trying to lead you to water here.
Is it
what's one of
Bungo
the
Stray Dogs?
No, what's one of the most
Okay.
well-regarded anime of all time? That you
We've already
would
done
assume
Steins Gate. We've
that you
already
would assume
done
is number one.
that I would assume is number one.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Angel Beats. Assassination Classroom.
No.
Oh, I love Assassination Classroom.
Angel Beats is not on here, neither is Assassination.
That's, you know what, honestly fair. Honestly fair. Well regarded as one of the great. Demon Slayer is not on the list.
Nope.
Naruto's not on the list. One Piece not on the list. Bleach isn't on the list. Gintama's not on the list. FMAB we've already talked about.
What? Wait, no, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't talk about. All right, FMAB. What is it at?
Not on the list. However, Full Metal Alchemist is, and it's not a mistake. He explains it.
Oh, I want to see the light leave his eyes. I want to see the light leave
Full Metal
his
Alchemist is number 4. Let me give you the top 10.
Oh.
Okay, number 10, the Berserk anime. Crazy to put this on the list. This anime, Berserk's great. The manga's incredible. This anime is just a vehicle in which to obtain the Berserk twist in a visual form, right?
Danny, everything up until this was performative rage. Like that actually made me upset. Like that. Like I'm stuttering because I don't know how to process the emotions I've just felt. If somebody came up to me and was like, the Berserk anime is top 10, I'd probably like reflexively punch them in the throat. Like I'd be like, nope, no more words for you. Like I couldn't. Oh, I could not be held accountable for the fact that I rip out their trachea with my teeth. That is insane.
Yeah, it's insane. Number 9 is Sonny Boy. Never heard of this.
Okay, that's fine. It's really good, but it's such a fooly cooly ass pick. It's like if somebody comes up to you and is like, "Oh, my favorite's Sunny Boy," or "My favorite's Fooly Cooly," you're like, "Ha ha! Stay away from me. I can smell your polycule on you."
Yeah. Number 8 is Madoka Magica. We talked about that. Number 7, Revolutionary Girl Utena.
What the fucking? What are we even talking about, dude?
I don't know. It looks like a Sailor Moon type thing.
Revolutionary Girl Utah. They're gonna put like a card captor Sakura on here as well. It's gonna be all yep. Okay, this is just a shoujo fan. This is just a shoujo fan making a top 50 anime list, but like at the same time, like you can appreciate shoujo and shonen. This fucking shit's from 1988. Oh wait, no, it's from 1997.
Number 6 is Eureka 7.
Oh my god.
Number 5 is Kaiba. Don't know what this is. I've never seen this in my life.
What is this? What is this?
I don't know what this is.
This person thinks they're the fucking final boss of anime fans, dude. This is the biggest fucking pick me I've ever seen. Kaiba TV series 2008. This is 4 people have seen this. 4 people have seen this goddamn show. This is insane.
Number 4, Full Metal Alchemist, the original. Number 3, Cowboy Bebop.
Insane.
Number 2, Paranoia Agent.
Paranoia Agent is this is the most inconsistently themed fucking top 10 I have ever seen. Paranoia Agent is very good. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Paranoia Agent is very, very good. That is a based pick in your top 10. Number 2 is insane.
I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
What do you think number 1 is? Give an actual, genuine, educated guess.
Okay, so they like a genuine educated guess here. Is it card captor Sakura?
No.
Okay, that would have made a lot of sense for them. Eureka 7 is fun.
I'll say this belongs in a top 10 list, but 1 is insane.
Is it what's the one that's basically Madoka Magica, but it's the new gen that you love? Wonder Egg Priority? It's not Wonder Egg Priority?
No.
Okay. Man. All right. This is give me a hint. Top 10 material. I'm trying to base off everything else that they've worked with here.
It came out within the last decade.
Came in without the last decade. This person has insufferable taste. It's not fully coolly. It's not. Is it Katana Gatari?
No. It's something.
No?
It's
Okay.
mainstream.
I mean, Katana Gatari. I mean, okay, it's mainstream. How mainstream? Like, would I see this cosplayed at a con?
Mid-tier mainstream. I've never seen this cosplayed at a con.
Okay, is it Fruits Basket?
Nope.
Is it?
You get two more guesses.
Can I eat your pancreas?
No. Last guess.
Yeah. Is it 5 centimeters or 5 millimeters at a time?
No, it's a show.
Oh, that's a movie. You're right. Okay, that one doesn't count. Wouldn't see it cosplayed at a con. Midstream popular, came out in the last decade. It wasn't Bungo Stray Dogs. We've already talked about that. This person has insufferable taste. It's kind of popular. Not Wonder Egg priority. Oh, this is tough, man. This is really, really tough. I'm gonna be upset when I hear about it. If it's like something stupid,
People
like
are saying Dragon Ball. It's not Dragon Ball. It's not Shaman King. It's not Chainsaw Man.
You see, I'm seeing Death Parade in the chat. That's a good question. Is it Death Parade?
It's not Death Parade. It is Mob Psycho 100.
Okay. You're right. We never see Mob Psycho at cons. You
I know.
never, because
And
it's all
mid-tier
uniform.
popular.
It's mid-tier popular. I don't hate that. If somebody told me Mob Psycho 100 was their favorite anime of all time, I couldn't say no to that. It's a great anime.
But one?
Listen, if somebody told me Mob Psycho was their number one anime of all time, I could not tell them no. But putting Mob at number one when you have all those other anime that are very Mob-like Mob is a straight-up shonen. It is a straight-up. There's nothing about it that is non-shonen. It is as straight down the fucking middle shonen as you get. And yes, it does. It's fun. It's silly. It does some perverse topics that it does really, really well. But Mob at one with all those other shonen that high, this person is I'm surprised they didn't try to slip fucking Perfect Blue in there with Paranoia Agent being their number 3 pick.
Yeah, so that's an insane list.
That was wild.
Should we get through Best Boy and stuff? I do have to try and catch another Urgent Care before they close.
Yeah. I already did my Best Boy.
Okay.
Oh no, actually no, it's my Piss Boy. My Piss Boy is Drama Queen because they doubled down. I was waiting up for Drama Queen to come out as a rage bait and switch where they're like, hey, these characters doing hate crimes are the bad guys, and this detective that they introduced in one of the more recent episodes, ha ha ha, we got to go get them. These are the bad guys clearly, but nope, the detective they introduced at the end of chapter 2 is actually a guy who is like, hey, I work in the operations of killing these aliens and selling their bodies. So they just double down. It's more xenophobic, racist shit. And unfortunately, one of my mutuals made a video today, and they were like, everybody on Twitter is being a super big baby about Drama Queen. All these aliens come down and they invade Japan, and these guys are doing the Lord's work by eradicating them. And I was like, ho, fuck a duck. What?
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. It was not great at all. And so, yeah. Panda Mom, Danny needs to go to urgent care because he thinks he has an ear infection because he's a big old baby.
Yeah. And my Piss Boy is the urgent care I tried to go to before the podcast, who told me they don't have any doctors working today.
Yep. Is that your actual Piss Boy?
That's my actual Piss Boy. That was the pissiest I felt all week. Also, I don't even know what I did all week. I've just been watching just been crushing through reaction shit.
Yep.
Trying to work. It's just been work. My Piss Boy is Christmas.
Yep.
There I said it.
There it is. Your Piss Boy is Santa the Claus.
Santa the Claus. Anyway, that brings us to, unless you have news, because my
flashback was Sonic 4.
I was going to say my news was that Dandadan is in July, so.
That's wild. All right, that brings us to our favorite segment of the show, Love Letters, where me and Danny poll our incredible live audience to get a question that we answer here live on the podcast. And yes, today we are live on our regular page because Danny is he's getting bent over. He's getting bent over by the holiday spirit right now, dude. And unfortunately, they're using the wrong hole. They're fucking him right in his right ear. It's not fun for anybody. Santa Claus is, he's quick, he's fast. Danny doesn't have the cookies to pay him off, so he's sticking around. He's shooting his milk into Danny's ear, unfortunately. But usually we only stream on our Patreon. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. You know exactly what you did to Santa. Listen, I saw you kiss it. I saw you kiss it. You're the mom they're singing about in Mom's Kissing Santa Claus song.
That's a little early.
So, if you guys want an opportunity to ask me and Danny questions every single week, become a member over on Patreon. You get the podcast 2 days early, you get to watch us live, and you get 2 hours of additional Nick and Danny content a month. And me and Danny, just for our first ever time, actually recorded a good Scooby-Doo reaction. We did the Hex Girls movies. We were actually kind of unimpressed with it. Blackstar asks, what anime character would make the best Santa stand-in?
I feel like there's a lot of things you have to consider in this. You have to
Absolutely.
consider wisdom, holiday cheer, potential for cheer.
Oh, I was only thinking about speed. I was thinking about maintenance of the list.
I just watched the Family Guy episode where Stewie and Brian commit a break-in and murder.
Yep.
And that really has put in my head how important the drive to want to be a Santa is. I think Inosuke could be a good Santa. I think an Inosuke Zenitsu combo because you need the speed.
And do they have the sleigh? Do they have the sleigh?
You ride Inosuke.
You ride Inosuke, but Zenitsu's the fast one out of those two. Is unfortunately
that's what I mean. You ride Zenitsu.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. And Inosuke is bringing the holiday cheer.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Inosuke is an absolute endless cheer factory.
Yep.
And then back at home, Tanjiro's cooking up the presents.
Oh, so you're saying that the core trio from Demon Slayer is working together. Nezuko is head elf because she's little, because she can be little, so she's head elf.
Nezuko's Rudolph because she sniffs out the demons.
That's pretty good. That's pretty. Oh, so they're not. So they are writing Zenitsu a little bit.
Yeah,
no, they're writing. Yeah, so they're writing Zenitsu. Zenitsu's chasing. That's what you do. You have Zenitsu on the he's chasing after Nezuko, who's on the further end of the leash kind of thing, and then Inosuke's hoing his way through the holiday festivals.
And Inosuke's got a good ho.
He does.
You know?
He's got a great chortle.
Yeah,
nobody quite chortles like Inosuke.
Who do you think would make a good Santa stand-in?
I appreciate doing the main cast of Demon Slayer, because each and every single one of them brings a certain different aspect to the Santa, because Santa honestly encapsulating all that work, I mean, that is superhuman that he managed to pull that off. Me, I was more thinking speed, I was more thinking efficiency, and I'm gonna go for a man who's not only used to having the weight of the entire world on his shoulders, but also has the speed to get to every single individual in one night. I'm going with Minato.
Okay.
Minato he's been Hokage. He knows what the bureaucratic judicial work that goes into being a Santa. You give Minato 364 days to prep for being Santa. He's knocking that out. And then he's flying Raijin. He doesn't even worry about the chimney. He's just leaving signs in every single boy and girl's house so he can flying Raijin straight to their tree, drop the present off, and then he's gone. He's moving on. He's eating the milk and cookies. He's light speed, so he's eating the milk and cookies. He's refilling his chakra. Boom, bam, pow, flying Raijin.
That's
filling everybody's house
That's
presents.
so smart because all he would have to do is make it a new tradition that instead of just cookies, you leave out cookies and the little flying Raijin seal so that Santa, whatever his name is, can show up.
If you want Santa to pull up, you have to make a flying Raijin shield. They ship it out. They ship out the flying Raijin shield to every single house in the world. And they're like, hey, if you want Minato to come visit you with a sack full of yellow flash goodness, then you better put this out. Put the seal under your tree. What a Christmas tradition that would be.
That's really good. I like that.
Well,
that's the pod.
That's the pod. That is the Otakus Anonymous. Thank you so much for checking in with us, guys, today. We appreciate it. Happy holidays to everybody out there. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. Hanukkah and Christmas fall on the same day this year, Danny. Did you know that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Obviously, I knew that, Nick. I'm not a bigot.
Religious persecution is over. We're done. We're not doing it. Christians, Jews, best friends now. We're all going to eat a bagel. We're going to have a lot of fun. So everybody out there, enjoy your holiday break. Me and Danny are going to be back probably in a week or so. Probably do something before New Year's here, but Danny's going to be on the East Coast. I'm going to be home working, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm having a lot of time, but we understand that the holiday time is a lonely time for some of you, a cheery time for others, so we hope everyone's out there enjoying themselves. Me and Danny are thinking of you. We have you in our heart. We love you, and the world is better for having you. So thank you, guys. Enjoy yourselves out there. Ho your way through the holidays, or hang out for 7 nights and days for Hanukkah, or do whatever you do for Kwanzaa. I'm not entirely sure. I think there's dreidels involved. Anyways, we love you. We'll see you guys soon, and goodbye.
Bye.